done messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Who gon' get on his ass real quick one time? 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent, I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan, I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course, get it lit up like a torch. You even low or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that, I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick, I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zoc, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them U.P.K rules. I'm making hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent, I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan, I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low or this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that, I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call, I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me fart. Yeah, I just took the floor, ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign, tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion, they can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. Came to with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent, I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan, I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that, I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call, we gon' start another war. Yeah.
Back row.
Sharper than an ice pick on you rappers' necks, and it's feeling like some vice grips. Yeah, that's light shit. Send my bro a kite quick. Times of war, we ain't forget about you. Keep your light lit. Rappers can't see, most of them scared to witness. Go on, close your eyes. There's one right here for the trenches. Bad bitches, natural hair or extensions. Hood niggas that'll poly grip like some dentures. Brothers on them fences. 23 and 1 out. Praying that commissary hit before it run out. Bitches on the gram, dog filter with their tongue out. Couldn't stay home because they found the dugout. Closed casket, burner in the low jacket. My co-captain, riding on these whole rappers. My hoes fabulous. Now I don't mean that derogatory, but I'm a player and there's no my women riding for me. I avoided Maury, I got 2 jets. If I can't make it through for them, then I'm useless. Sit down that roof, Chris, with a couple bosses. After the war, just to count our losses. It's not many. You see a smile on my face, but I'm not friendly. Going on my waist, sipping white Henny. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know light. Gotta got my heart grip, my bow tie. Waiting on this war been my whole life. this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the sport, been my whole life, my whole life. It's so melodic. When I be dropping this ebonics, this ghetto phonics, they got me on the level supersonic, my bomb atomic. And you know where you can find me, somewhere probably folding this paper origami. My name is pure as the Dasani, my wave is like a tsunami. I went from 0 to 100, feeling like Ricky Bobby. I made a deal with the Reaper, got a couple wives, they some keepers. Talk a lot of shit, but you can't walk a mile in my sneakers. Bitches go to Miami, come home with change features. Now she got a BBL, her ass fatter. Trying to show up all them niggas that laughed at her. Now when they see her, they only wanna fuck her. They just wanna touch her, they don't wanna cuff her. They just wanna come and kick it with her like a punter. Turned her to a runner, now it's all aboard the train. Fenty on her face, but it's not concealing the pain, it's a shame. So I'm in the hood like some rap snacks. I know niggas kill you and your mama for a scat pack. Dark tint, matte black, they do it for half that. Had you like 90s Missy in a fucking trash bag. I'm from Philly, we don't do bank accounts, just cash app. I spit a verse and I just watch the time slow. This that God flow, this that shit that rappers die for. This that uncut Taha Wall straight from Pablo Escobar. I be at the bar like Moscato. They think it's effort, but no, this that block work. Make the countermeasures, take pleasures, making an op hurt. Light is in the sky, cause every verse is a concert. My mind work at speed, y'all can't fathom. Listen to the words of a champion. It can't, the streets need another anthem. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Waiting on the score in my whole life. I just hope this shit go right. Living in the dark, you don't know life. Gotta got my heart with my bow tie. Living in the sport in my whole life, my whole life.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried. I got rank for real, I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga. Watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, they're firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dawg. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till death do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine then. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dawg? Guns and butter, baby boy. U.P.K top, dawg. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line into a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in the attic like they Anne Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You can
See, I was born to be a soldier. See, I was born to be a soldier. See, I was born to be a soldier. I was born to be a soldier. Hey, hey. See, I was born to be a soldier. I was born to be a soldier. See, 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 I was born to be a soldier. Left, right, left.
I can tell you what it feels like when them problems kicking in. I call it real life. Now I'm feeling trapped. Who can I trust? Second guessing everything. Who can I love? I remember sleeping on the floor, ready for whatever. I was sleeping by the door. I was down bad, didn't want no one to know. I was on my own, didn't have nowhere to go. Everything I seen was a test. I was born to be a soldier, nothing less. This is the life that I chose. This the life that I chose. This the life that I chose. This the life that I chose.
See, I was born to be a soldier. I was born to be a soldier.
This is the life that I chose.
See, I was born to be a soldier. See, I was born to be a soldier. See, I was born to be a soldier. I was born to be a soldier.
This is the life that I chose.
See, I was born to be a soldier. See, I was born to be a soldier. Left, right, left.
All black is the uniform. Soldiers dead and gone, I'm forever pouring liquor for them. Try me on my brothers, and I'll be moving bodies for them. Came up out the struggle and maintained through the storm. Niggas dying for dead presidents, fucking up their residence. White man dirty tricks, they call this shit politics. Vagabonds, and they some natural born lunatics. That what they is. They shut you down when you speaking truth. It black boots when you in the truth. It black boots when you in the truth. This is the life that I chose, nigga.
See, I was born to be a soldier. I was born to be a soldier. See, 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 I was born to be a soldier. Left, right, left.
For homicide detectives, the clock starts ticking. The moment they are called, their chance of solving a murder is cut in half if they don't get a lead within the first 48 hours.
I do anything to keep my brothers safe. I'm putting food on my daughter's plate. You fucking losers, y'all just can't relate. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. You will find me on the first 48. Find me on the first 48. I do anything to keep my daughters safe. You harm them, you will find me on the first 48. Sitting in that room, hear the interrogator's voice. They asking why I do it, I tell them I had no choice. Couldn't wouldn't take a threat or a risk to my family. So throw the book at me, I take them charges happily. Ain't no need for no polygraphs or forensics. I put that fucker in a body bag, I'll admit it. Fuck a sentence or the jury that will convict me. They don't understand, it's my family, they represent me.
All right, what's going on? What's going on, Israel? We're gonna go ahead and get this class started. We got any questions online, Mashak?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We have also headquarters and Detroit online as well too, sir.
Okay. Is it anywhere I can see them?
Yeah, come on, sir.
All right, all right. So do we have any questions? Anybody?
Come on.
Okay.
Okay. His name is A. The name you have typed in is A. Wow. So, like, so can I get a breakdown on Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, 8 through 10? Ashkenazi Jewish plea will say that this is saying Solomon was white. What is it referring to? Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, verses 8 through 10.
Songs of Solomon, 1 through 5, 8 through 10. Somebody go ahead and read it.
So chapter 5, verses 8 through 10.
All right, give me 1 second.
The Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 8. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if ye find my beloved, that ye tell him that I am sick of love. Verse 9. What is thy beloved more than another beloved? O thou fairest among women?
And what was this question again now?
He was saying the Jewish people will say that this is saying Solomon was white. What is it referring to? He might have put the wrong scripture.
Okay, because Songs of Solomon, first of all, if we go to Songs of Solomon 1 and 5, right, that would be where his starting point would be at. If he was saying, if somebody Jewish was telling him that Solomon was white, then that's where he will start at. Songs of Solomon 1 and 5. Somebody go ahead and get that for me.
Sir. It's Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black.
Hold on. What did Solomon say?
I am black.
Spell that word for me.
B-L-A-C-K.
Okay, so if a Jewish person come to you and he's trying to tell you that Solomon was white, this is where you want to go. And where is this at right now? This is in the beginning of the book of Solomon. So Solomon is telling you point blank, plain and simple, that he is black. Read that again.
I am black.
Solomon's black. And we spelled it. He said, what was the spelling again?
B-L-A-C-K.
All right, you can't get around that. Solomon said that he was black. Read on.
But comely.
But comely. What does the word comely mean? Anybody?
Good looking, sir.
Good looking or beautiful. That's where they get the word black and beautiful from. That's where it came from. It came from the Bible. Solomon said that he was black and he was beautiful. Any more on that?
O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Okay, go ahead.
As the tents of Kedar.
Okay, so Solomon was letting you know that he was black beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, where the brother was at, Mashak, in the book of Solomon, it was 5, or did he make a correction on it?
No, it's that one, but I think the question would be more in verse 10.
Okay.
He started from verse 8 through 10. Chapter 5, verses 8 through 10 is where he
5, 8 through 10. Okay, go ahead, read it.
It's Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 8. I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if ye find my beloved, that ye tell him that am I sick of love. Verse 9. What is thy beloved more than another beloved? O thou fairest among women? What is thy beloved more than another beloved? That thou doest so charges us. Verse 10, my beloved is white and ruddy.
Hold on. My beloved is white and ruddy. So he's saying that his beloved was white and ruddy. But did it say that Solomon was white? Did it say that Solomon was white? So how can you let somebody tell you that this is saying that Solomon was white? That's not what this was saying. This didn't say that Solomon was right. It didn't say that at all. It went into the complexion of who they were talking about being white, but it didn't say Solomon was white at all. That's not what the book said. Okay. He have any more questions on that? If he needs further explanation, basically reading it, when you actually reading it, it doesn't say at all that Solomon was white. And then we just started off where it said that Solomon was black. So now how can you read 4 chapters over and they come around and they turn around and tell you that Solomon was white? Who would know better than Solomon what his complexion was? Anybody in this room that you don't know what color you are? So that's easy to break it down. It's easy to come back and say, well, hold on. All we're going to do is we're going to go back to 1 and 5, where Solomon told you what his color was. And so now, and then you just pose the question to them. Who's going to know what color Solomon is better than Solomon? Nobody. Next question. Does that answer his question first and foremost?
He said, yeah, that's what he broke down to them. Let me put it up on the screen.
Okay.
He said, Khan, yeah, that's what I broke down.
Okay, he broke it down to him. So what was their response?
That's the last thing he wrote.
Okay. All right. Next question. The Shark, we got any more?
No, I don't know. So just everybody that's checking in. So
okay.
That's checking in.
All right. So basically, even after he told him that Solomon said that he was black, what's another scripture that this brother could have used to prove that the Jews were black? Because that's where I would go next. I would prove to him first and foremost that the Jews were black. Then I would go into the other scriptures proving and showing that everybody in the scriptures were people of color. What's the next scripture that he should go to? Anybody in the class? Go ahead, Mashak.
He responded. He said to Water, so he's waiting on their response. He said that's what he told them, but he's waiting on them to respond. So he didn't get a response from them when he broke it down.
And guess what? More than likely, he's not going to get a response because you can't get around that. Go ahead.
And he can, give the definition of right.
Absolutely. He could definitely give the definition. And do you have that definition? Somebody pull that. Go ahead, General Q. Look, let's go into both of those. Somebody pull ruddy, and then somebody pull the definition of white. Go ahead, Q. You got yours first.
The word white in this context is tazakak. The tazab and the kab is an adjective, and it means the outline of the biblical usage. This is in the blue letter, right? It says dazzling, glowing, clear, bright.
And so now, look, what General Q just brought out to you, and look, he back there shaking his head, because once you start going into the scriptures, in order to really understand the scriptures or really break them down, you have to understand words. And if you don't understand words and you don't understand the definitions of words, then guess what? You can't go into this Bible and you can't break it down, because right there, all that brother have to do is go back to them and say, now, if you look up the definition of white in its proper context to what they're speaking about right here, you're going to know that what is he trying to say, or what are they saying when they're using white in that particular context? What are they saying? Q just gave it to you. I'm going to see if you're following along. What are they trying to say? What is it? Yeah, what's it trying to say? Q, read that definition again. He's bright, dazzling,
They're trying. Bright could be he's smart. What they're trying to say is that this person is amazing. This person is outstanding. This person is beautiful, is what they're trying to say. That's what they're breaking down, is how beautiful this person is, how amazing this person is. Not that Solomon was a white man. It can't be that Solomon was a white man, especially when we had just read in the beginning of the chapter, the first chapter of the book, that it says Solomon was black and beautiful. So now all they're doing right now is doing what? They're reiterating who he is, his appearance, and basically letting you know that he's beautiful. They just reiterating it all over again. But it doesn't mean that. Now, somebody give me the definition of ruddy. Come on, brother.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Ruddy, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion.
Hold on. A word used to refer to what?
A red or fair complexion.
A red or fair complexion. Now, don't get it twisted. No, I'm gonna have him bring it all out. Don't get it twisted, because what'll happen is the first thing people hear this and they hear ready, and they try to compare this to who? Esau. They try to say the red was talking about the so-called white man. That's why it had to let you know that it's talking about a fair complexion. Guess what? Some people have they although their complexion is fair. Look at my complexion. It's not until like it's red coming through it at the same time. But I damn sure ain't no white man. Point blank, plain and simple. So now they can't go back and try to meld the word ready with being white. You just can't make it what you want it to be. You have to take the word, you have to take the definition, break it down, and it is what it is. That's the problem that people have with the truth. That's the problem people have with the school, is because all these other groups, all these other organizations out here, they claiming to have the truth, but you know what? They can never prove the truth, and prove it through what? Through knowledge, through what they know. They're coming out and they're trying to break the truth down through what they've heard, through what someone has told them. That's what gives us the upper hand. That's what lets you know that we on top. Ain't nobody can touch us, because guess what? We're not operating off of what we think or what we think we know or what somebody done told us. We operating off of the biblical research that we've done. We went into the records and we researched this truth. That's how we know where we at. Go ahead with the rest of that, brother.
In contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews.
Hold on. Hold up. Now, in contrast to what?
To the dark skin of the Hebrews.
To the dark skin of the Hebrews. So now when it's talking about ready, it's comparing the word ready in contrast. Now somebody look at what the word contrast means. We show you how to break it all the way down. Sometimes you got to go word for word, predicated on who you dealing with. But if you have to go there to prove your point, then you just go there. If you have to go to every single word and break that word, every single word down, so that the people that you're trying to teach or that you're trying to wake up so that they get the proper understanding, sometimes you're going to have to go there. And that's another reason all these other Israelite groups, the problem that they having is they don't even understand words. They don't understand the definition of words. That's why when you come into this school, what's the first thing they ask you to bring into the school? They ask you to come in with your Bible dictionary, and with the regular dictionary. That's how we was taught back in the day, and hopefully that's how it's still being put down. You come in here with a Bible dictionary, and that's how you're going to get the proper understanding and the proper breakdown of the scriptures. Go ahead. What's the next question they got for me?
So West, he said if we could read verse 11 as well. From see where he left off.
Okay, 5 and 11.
Yeah.
And you see, that's what I like to see, is when brothers are coming in here, they paying attention, they learning, they expounding on the knowledge, and they growing, and we all grow together. Read the next verse. And hold on, look. Had the brother, that's why you always hear General Muhammad say what? He either says, read up above or continue to read. Why does he do that? So that now you can get the proper context of what's being said, and you get a proper understanding of what's being brought out. Go ahead, read the next scripture.
This is Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 11. His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy, as black as a raven.
There it is. And so now you have seen white people with locks, but they about nasty as they can be. And on top of that, when it's talking about locks, is it talking about dreadlocks? No, it's talking about braids, is what it's talking about. That's what he's bringing out. So you can't get around it. You can't make the people of the Bible white. You can't make the anybody outside the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You can't join us and marry us to nobody else. You can't marry us to no filthy Africans, because guess what? We're not Africans. It's plain and simple. It's in here. Go ahead, John. Hold on. It said that the Hebrews are dark skinned in the Bible dictionary. Point blank, plain and simple. It broke down the word ready for you. I get sick and tired of people trying to say, well, when it mentioned the word ready, it's trying to say that Esau was ready. That's a lie. Now we got to the bottom of it today. We broke the whole definition down, went into the word ready, and you can't get around it. It's a comparison to a person that has a dark complexion, but it can also appear that it has red. Its complexion can still be red. And then what does it say about Judah mourners and the gates thereof languish? They are what? And black into what? Into the ground. So when you dig up the ground, what do you have? You have different shades of black. It covers the entire spectrum. The entire spectrum. Go ahead. I thought you had, yeah, go ahead.
Of a person's having a healthy red color, having a relish color. Note the word healthy.
There it is. And so it's saying that's what your complexion is going to be if you are healthy, lively, you vibrant. They said he was smart. So it's no way that they can try to come back now and you're going to go sit with some white Jews and they're going to try to tell you that Solomon was a white man. That's a damn lie. Solomon was never white. He's always been black. He came out and said that he is black. That's the first thing he said. Go ahead, brother. Okay, now somebody get the other definition of white. And let's go ahead and just crush this thing. I'm talking about when they say, well, white means that you're pure, you're undefiled, they're clean. That's what they try to call themselves. That's what they try to say. But guess what? When you really look at them, you have to ask yourself the simple question. Are they white? Hell no, they ain't not white. Nobody walking the face of this earth is white. And the reason, why do they call themselves white? Can anybody answer the question? Why does the white man call himself white? Anybody? And what does the word black mean? It's filthy. It's soiled. Everything that's negative, they put that negative connotation on us. Everything that's negative. And the reason why they call themselves white is because what? Everything that's pure, everything that's good, everything that's white, everything that's what? Like General Katham just said, clean. They want to compare themselves to. So all you have to do, again, is go into the scriptures, get your dictionary, get your Bible dictionary, and break them words down. And once you break them words down, guess what you're going to find out? That you can't be confounded. And what you're going to also find out is that the individuals that's trying to confound you, 9 times out of 10, they haven't done any research and they don't understand words. And when I say don't understand words, you have a lot of people that can read. Most people can read, but guess what they don't understand? They don't understand what? Basic reading comprehension. And that's why most people don't understand the Bible, because they don't try to comprehend, or either they've been taught to where they don't comprehend what the Bible is saying, because they can read one thing. It's always been amazing to me. How can you read Solomon say that he's black, and then you're going to let somebody come back and tell you that he's white? Did you not just read the man say that he was black? Come on, you got to come off of it. We got any more questions, Mashak? Go ahead.
Can I get a breakdown? I have a question on Matthew chapter 7 and verse 11. I want to ask you is the proper way to do it is through the school. I'm gonna read the verse right now. It's Matthew chapter 7 verse 11. If ye then being evil know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him? Is that talking about if you want to ask for something from the Most High, you have to go through the school?
Do you have to go through the school?
Is that the process, the proper way to do it?
To give a gift to your child?
No, I'm saying because it's saying that if you're going to give a gift to your children, how much more is the Most High going to give to you if you ask?
If you ask the Lord for the gifts that you're giving, you don't have to ask the school to give your child a gift if that's the question that you're asking. Go ahead. What's your question again?
So basically, so just like if the father gives a gift to a child, especially if he asks.
Absolutely.
How do we get the gifts from the Most High if we ask? Is the proper way that we get it is through asking through the school?
The proper way to get a gift from your father, if you wanted a gift from your mother or your father, how would you get a gift from your mother or your father? So now what the scripture is saying, if you want a gift from the Lord, what do? You would have to ask the Lord for yourself. You can't ask me, because what is that? If you had to come to me to ask me for a gift from the Lord, what religion does that exact same thing? What religion? So again, hold on, Christianity. No, it's another one that we all know about. Catholicism. You have to go and you have to sit next to somebody in a booth, and you have to ask that person to pray to the Lord for you. Why not pray to the Lord for yourself? He can't, the person asking to pray to the Lord for you, he can't get your blessing from the Lord for you and then pass them on to you. You have to ask the Lord. And then if the Lord see fit, bless you with those blessings that you asking him for. So no, you wouldn't come to the school and say, that's like me going to Commander Junior YAHANNA and saying, man, things are real bad. I can go to him for counsel, but I wouldn't go to him, and I can ask him to pray for me because things are bad. It's not wrong to do that, but guess what? First and foremost, if I want a blessing from the Lord, I'm going to go to the Lord myself and ask the Lord for the blessing. And if things are bad enough, I might go and seek counsel and tell brothers that things are real bad. Look, I'm having a rough go at it. Can you please send up a prayer for me? But at the same time, it's going to be more important that you go directly to the Lord and ask the Lord for that blessing for yourself, brother. Absolutely. Go ahead.
He should go up with 2 verses because he's just basically talking about Christ trying to get people to ask the Most High.
That's exactly. That's what I'm saying. You got to ask him. Read up 2 verses.
This is Matthew chapter 7 and 9. Or what man is there of you whom is his son asked bread? Okay,
slow it down. He's saying what? Read it again.
What man is there of you whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone?
So what he's saying is that if you have a child and your child coming to you asking you for bread, why is he asking you for bread? Because he's hungry. And now, so Christ is coming back and saying, now when your son asks you for bread, because he's hungry and he want to eat, will you give him a stone to eat? No, you're not going to give him a stone, because why? He's hungry. He can't eat the stone. It's not going to benefit him at all. So read on.
Verse 10. Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent?
Or if your son asks you for a fish, are you going to give him a serpent? Again, why? Because it's not going to benefit him. The serpent is going to do what if he asks him for a fish and you give him a serpent? It's going to be harmful to him. It's going to bite him. It's going to be harmful to him. So now read on. So what he's saying is that if you need something, you go to ask the Father, you should go to him and you should ask for him. And if you go to the Lord and you ask him for something, then guess what? He's not going to give you what you don't need. If you read into that scripture right there, he's saying that, look, if you go to the Lord and you ask him for something, a lot of times we go into the Lord and we asking him for all type of material stuff that's not going to really benefit us. And then you know what we say? Well, God must be on.
Clap it up. Let's get it on.
Nah.
All right, Akim, Magwafian. Questions in the room, out the room. I'll get to my topics. We'll go online and do all of that. All right. Forget what I had to go through tonight. I think I wrote it down. We'll rock it out. All right. Questions in the room. Let's have them. Anything online? Let's have those.
New York got a question.
New York, give New York a hand. Let's rock it out. We're down here today in Washington, D.C., Chocolate City. Give Chocolate City a hand. The DMV, Rome. The DMV, Rome. Give them on. Get it on, brothers. I'll take your questions. So, like New York had a question, right?
Okay, I don't see the happen anymore. New York, you still have a question?
Before, but I also had a question more pertinent regarding well, my main question, the one I had texted you about earlier today, was when you're dealing with I.S.U.P.K school system and how they're trying to force LGBTQ. If I could give a short story, basically the last subject that I'll be covering this semester for sociology is gender and sex. So basically, I believe, if I heard my professor right, that'll be the topic of the final. So when it comes to having to deal with things like that, like basically, like she kind of, I don't want to say yelled at me, but like I basically used the word, it's a choice. She basically said, no, it's a feeling. It's a feeling. So when it comes to things like that, you want to get a good grade. So how do you keep your integrity, but make sure that you like give them what they want, if that makes sense to me?
Try to ask it a little more. I don't quite understand your question. So you're in school, right? And you have an assignment that's somehow surrounded around the LGBT movement?
Basically, yes. Gender and sex as it regards to sociology.
Okay, and what's the question? Give me an example.
Meaning, like, we watched a video about a young sister. I believe she's from the UK.
No rush. I ain't rushing nobody.
3 years old. At 2 years old, her mother made the conscious decision, let her be a boy.
Okay, and they're asking you about this?
Basically, this will probably be somewhere around the topic of the final, yes.
Okay, but what's the question they're asking you?
They haven't presented the actual question for the final yet. I won't know that till the day of the final.
Okay, but they want you to learn some story about some gay woman.
About
her struggles in life.
It's not even a woman. It's a child. It's a 9-year-old who, at the age of 2, her parents decided since you want to go around calling yourself a boy.
About this. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Let me show you something, Nog. Okay, this is something that's going to be very common, right? You know, you go to school, someone is going to, you got to write a paper. Somehow it'll have something to do with the gay movement. The gay movement, of course, is not new. It's built right into the I.S.U.P.K's curses from 1969. Back in 1969, in our curses, we cursed the gay movement. We still do it today because we saw the threat that it was all the way back then. The first thing you want to understand based on that is that this is not new. Okay, nothing that's happening today should shock you or scare you because it's normal. It's the way it was thousands of years ago. There are scriptures in the Bible about homosexuality because the gay movement was around and aggressively pressing itself into people's lives 3,000 years ago. Or should I go back to Sodom and Gomorrah, which is God knows how many thousands of years ago, 6,000, 10,000 years ago. Nothing is different now, all right? So when you realize that, then you understand that there is a way to survive with, a gay agenda. There's a way for you to be a man. Yo soy uno hombre. There's a way for you to be a man no matter what. Everybody understands, right? So you want to remember that as you are in class or doing whatever working a slavery, and you'll see it, and don't be all scared about it, and don't pop a lid. You'll be fine. Let me show you how this whole thing is not an issue. The gay agenda in America is nothing. It's made up.
It's made up, and it always has been made up. All of you know about the transgender bathrooms, right? Everyone has heard about that. The big push in society for transgender bathrooms. All of you know about, jobs and employers being forced to, to make sure that they don't discriminate against transgender people. There's a case right now in the Supreme Court right now about a business that didn't want to make a gay wedding cake.
Right,
people came into a bakery and want a wedding cake, but of course they want 2 men on the wedding cake or 2 women, and something like that. So they're Christians, and in this point, not hypocrites, which means they're not black Christians, because black Christians are hypocrites. That's why Warnock won that election down there in Georgia, because black Christians, please, are hypocrites, right? But white Christians have some standard that they like to live to. So the Christian couple did not want to make a gay wedding cake. The gay people sued them like they were in 1964 Mississippi and fighting, to integrate Walmart. They sued them, and they're in the Supreme Court right now. So based on these things, you would think this is a very big problem. Let me show you some real facts. General, please.
It's not a coincidence that the House passes a bill protecting same-sex marriage the same day.
We're going to get to that as well. Give him a hand. Brittany Griner. Well, of course, in all things, the UPK tells the truth. So here is the actual reality of being gay and transgender in America. Mashak, what do you have? Who made the food in here tonight? Is this food in here? I'm smelling it. It's distracting me. It must be delicious. It's a distraction. That's how good it is. I ate it already in my mind.
Kawak made spaghetti here in New York.
Give New York and DC a hand. The water. Now I'm thinking about spaghetti.
So if I may, sir, so if I could ask.
Go ahead.
If I'm basically asked to speak positively about in a paper about it, what should I do? Should I just write the paper or?
Okay, you should write the paper, and you should use what you're going to school to learn. You should artfully express your opinion that still gets you an A. That's why you're in school.
Right?
I mean, you're in school to learn, right? So now you have an opinion on the gay agenda, and so now you want to, in a way that is artful, express that opinion and get an A. Okay, what popular culture does not free you from your obligation to change the hearts and minds of people. And this is something that all of us have to understand in the UPK. If you want to really battle, now, of course, the UPK, our whole business is battling. If you want to do it on the next level, go to a battle and convince your enemy that you're right. That's real battling. Now, there's a battle that some young brothers get in where you just want to offend the person you're battling. That's your point, to offend them. You just say something to them to make them mad as hell. I did that for years. Where you just, I'm just out here to get in the fight. So now that we know that, let's go ahead and do it. But then of course, Commanding General YAHANNA taught me how to really battle. Battling is getting the person who is against you to change his mind and agree with you. That's a real battle. So you're in school, Locke. You're in school learning how to write, learning how to express yourself. You're pulling up different facts and statistics and learning stories. Go into school in the white man's world and convince them of your point of view. You understand?
No concern.
Now that's going to take skill and education. You're going to have to fight ignorance to be able to do it. Otherwise, ignorance only allows you to fight people. That's all you can do if you're ignorant. Like a dog or a bear or something. All you can do is just fight people. But since you're a human, they have an agenda. You have an agenda. What's your agenda? To keep your integrity and get an A. That's my agenda in school. I have to get an A with my integrity. Am I the first one? No. No Jewish people go to college. You think Jewish people believe in homosexuality? They do not. Muslims, they do not. Christians who are white Christians do not. But yet they're doctors and lawyers and scientists and astronauts. So say it again. And gay as they can possibly be. All at once. There's a way for everyone to achieve their goal. Your goal is to get an A with your integrity. Write the paper knowing that in mind, all right?
Count on count, sir.
Mashak, put the numbers up there, please, if you could.
How many people are gay and bisexual?
I'm sorry, Captain. Go ahead.
How many people are lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender?
Now, give me a guess. Who can guess how many people in America are gay, transgender, lesbian, homosexuals? Take a guess, anyone. Ball, you might know. Who else? Who else? Go ahead.
About 35%.
Let's read. That what he just said is the common answer. Most people polled say 30 to 35%. Mashak. I'm sorry, General in the back.
And how would that be like?
Say again?
Like millions of people.
In every American citizen. Every last person. Come on.
It's over 300 million.
Yeah.
That would be a 30%.
Yeah, 30% of 300 million people. Yeah, that means in our minds, there are 30 million homosexual and gay people. Who has the number? Mashak, I think Mashak has it already. Go ahead, Mashak. If you don't have it, the brother has it. Go ahead.
3.5%.
Read that again.
3.5%.
Read it one more time.
3.5%.
3.5% are gay, transgender, and lesbian, all combined. How many people are transgender? Because they need their own bathrooms. They got to have their own bathrooms in every store, in every school. How many people are transgender? Anyone know? Now remember, all of them together are 3.5%. Let's check out the number.
0.3%.
How many?
0.3%.
0.3% are transgender people. That's why you need a bathroom in every damn store for transgender people, because of 0.3% of the people. This is all nonsense and made up, like most things. Like most things that you get all, ooh, you're in a fever about it. Oh, you're fighting for gay rights. Oh, we need bathrooms. Let me tell you, gay men, listen carefully. I'm gonna help you out. Go in the woman's bathroom. That's what you've been doing. Get in there in that woman's bathroom and mind your business. Done. If you're all dressed up like a woman and you got a wig on and lipstick, go in the woman's bathroom. That's the best choice, right? Don't go in the men's bathroom just like a woman. Now, when you go in that woman's bathroom, act like a girl in there. Done. You act like you want to be a girl, right? Get in that woman's bathroom, act like a girl, shut the stall behind you, do your business and leave. Now we can end all the court cases. That's what you do. You lesbians, what should you lesbians do? Lesbians, you dress like a man, go in a woman's bathroom. That's what you do. The woman's bathroom is for people who are kind. Do you understand? And, nice. The men's bathroom is not for niceness. So who goes in the woman's bathroom? Women, men dress like women, and women dress like men. All of you, go in the woman's bathroom. That's where you belong. That men's bathroom is a judgmental place. You can't go in there and have sexuality in there. You can't go in there and look at nobody. You got to keep your eyes straight ahead. That's now, if you want, kindness and all that, if you're an alternative things, go in a woman's bathroom. When you go in there, if you're a gay man, you dress up like a woman, act like a woman. If you're a lesbian woman and you go in there, act like a woman. And everything will be fine. Case closed, tap it up. All right, done. I solved the whole thing, Michelle. I don't know what the problem is. End all the court cases. Done. Go ahead.
The actual numbers. The trans people in America, 900,000. Gay and lesbian is 50.
Go ahead.
Is 5.1 million.
All right. There you go. Done. All of this talk, which percentage is 3.5%. Transgender 0.5%. We can move on to talk about something else, right? I mean, there got to be bigger issues than this issue. I don't think this cat, his brother's going to school. We got to do papers about this as if this is some giant thing in life. It is not. Let's move on. Please, Levi.
I had a question. It was a sister. She had a question about why the Lord was going to kill Moses until his wife circumcised their son and put the foreskin on his feet.
Threw it at his feet.
time.
Mhm.
I try to get more into context. The scripture didn't get more into context of why the Lord was going to kill him, but it seemed like maybe because he didn't circumcise the son.
That's exactly why. The Most High was going to kill Moses because Moses was given the law to circumcise his children. He knew that. That's why when Moses finally became head of the government, the state had a law where you must circumcise your child. Before that, it was the custom of Israel. But Moses married a heathen woman. He married a woman outside of his race, like many of you have done being in the world. Moses, like all of us at one time, was in the world. He was in the world for 40 years outside of Egypt. During that time, he married a heathen woman, a Midianite woman. What race is that today? I don't even know. It's something. It's not a black or Hispanic woman. Right? He married her and then found the truth when an angel came to him in a burning bush. Then he went back to Egypt to free his people, like all of you. Being in the world, is a state of selfishness. That's what fake Israelites are. Fake Israelites, Christians, Muslims, all of them are just selfish. Selfishness is a disgusting enemy to the UPK. Selfishness. But then when Moses came into the truth, now he cared about someone else. He cared about his own people. And now he went back into Egypt to free his people. But what did he have? He had a heathen woman and a child that he had with her. And his heathen wife did not want him to have their son circumcised. She considered it cruel. She said, "Oh, bloody man, what have I to do with thee?" Because she didn't want Moses to have her son's foreskin cut off of his penis because it was cruel to do something like that to a child. The thought of it, if you think about it, like, oh my God, you're gonna mutilate the boy, cut the foreskin off of his penis? It sounds terrible to do to a child. And she thought it was terrible. And for a while, he allowed his wife's lack of faith to change his obedience to God. And the Most High God was going to kill him for it. And then finally, he pressed the issue so much that the wife just said, fine. Come on.
Exodus chapter 4, verse 24. And it came to pass by the way in the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, "Surely a bloody husband art thou to me."
That's it. That's why he did it. So if you want to understand the breakdown of it, don't ever allow your wife to make you compromise your obedience to God. You got the IUIC, an entire Israelite group made from a man who was in the UPK and left the UPK simply because he wanted only one wife. And I wonder whose idea that was. It was his wife's idea. It was her. He goes and leaves the UPK and makes a whole Israelite group that doesn't believe in all that polygamy. I had to leave them because of all of that polygamy. Ooh, nasty. That's a video. I'm going to play it in here tonight. Now, you want to be that? All right. Then you'll have an Israelite group where you wear suits and ties because she likes a well-dressed man. You shave your face because that's better for you to get a job. She definitely wants you working and getting a job. And you'll come home every night after work and you won't be out doing anything. And I think I know that place already. It's called the Christian Church. A whole religion just built to satisfy Eve, to satisfy a woman. And here, that is not our custom. Anything else? Let me get the boy right here. You got it up.
I was watching the conference.
One little louder, please.
I was watching the conference. Christian Hebrew.
Got you.
Right? They were saying a lot of nonsense, right?
Right.
I have a breakdown on this is about tattoo. They kept saying your house had a tattoo in the style, right? We all know. I mean, the book of Leviticus 19 says you can't do that.
All right, go ahead.
But I like to break down
please.
the style.
Go ahead. You have it, read it.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 16. Come on. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 16. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Gotcha. There's a lot of people that have a name written on their ass, Levi, Wrangler. What's the new jeans that the girls like? Give me some new names. I don't know nothing about. Balenciaga? If you're into that kind of thing. Cabal don't want to hear none of that. Cabal won't listen to R. Kelly, let alone approve of some Balenciaga. He is not approve of that. Everybody understands, right? You get it now, Warrior? It says his vesture, right? A vesture is like a vest, a vesture. And on his thigh, because he's an Israelite, and there are things written down his pants, written across his chest. I guess I got this written on my chest right now, right? I mean, all right, anything else? We good here? All right, next.
Yeah, question online.
Go ahead.
Jeremy Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a breakdown on Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse 31?
Go ahead.
Somebody drop a brief, please. Nehemiah 10 and 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on the holy day, and that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every debt.
Question.
This was a breakdown.
This is the law. This is the law about not selling, not doing business on the Sabbath day, which is why your boss cannot force you to work in a place where you sell victuals on the Sabbath, which is food. All right, or vitals is food, which is why restaurants would be closed, which means you would not have to wash dishes or cut onions or fry flip burgers on the Sabbath day if a righteous man ruled this kingdom. Everybody understands. That's the law. And that's that. That's how it will be in the kingdom of heaven. All right? Come on.
So if I could, on that same note, would there be like any emergency services?
Explain.
Like hospitals?
Absolutely. Precept. Because the Sabbath, the man is not made for the Sabbath, but the Sabbath made for man. The law, the best way to understand it is Sunday. If you want to try to get, so many times when you read the Bible about the Sabbath, you see it kind of in like a one person somewhere selling a piece of bread or something. You see it small. You see prophets like an old man in the woods with a stick. When a prophet was a leader of a school. You get my point? He wasn't just one guy out in the woods with a stick in his hand. You see, because of movies, you kind of visualize it small. So even people selling food, in your mind, what do you see? One person like, you want a piece of bread? You want something like that? When this is an industry back then, an industry of people selling food, a big business. Those scriptures about farming, that's a farm, not a garden, a farm, meaning fields and thousands of acres. And the Most High giving laws about this industry. You get my point? This is the same thing. So yes, in the kingdom of heaven, you'll be able to do everything you need to do that's necessary for you. Everything. But your boss, his hands are tied. You understand? He's the one. The law of the Sabbath is for bosses. It's for supervisors and corrupt oppressors that will press you into work every Sabbath, no matter what. The law of the Sabbath is for them. You understand? It's not for you, that little guy over there that wants to eat a sandwich on the Sabbath, or wants to click your lights on, or wants to eat a bowl of soup. It's not. This law is not about you. It's about the industries that are corrupt and greedy. And if not for the law of God, they would work you to death. Anything else? Remember what caused the entire Egyptian exodus? Moses went in and asked Pharaoh for 3 days off of work. That's it. So that would be like getting off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A 3-day weekend. Pharaoh said, you must be idle to even ask me for 3 days off. I'm working you harder. I'm going to work you more. Please.
Luke chapter 14 and verse 5. And answered them, saying, which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day.
But that's what I'm referring to, of course. I'm referring to that. Correct. You gonna have your donkey in the pit? You gonna leave him there until tomorrow? He can be dead or eaten by wolves by the time you get out there. You need that damn donkey for your field. Yeah, you getting him out. And they were getting him out. That's why he brung it up. Because even they would have gotten him out. The Pharisee that wanted to kill him over breaking the Sabbath, they damn well knew they would get that donkey out of that pit. But they'll kill him for eating corn. Come on, next. Come on.
I didn't even know Esau is taking out a short than the book.
I heard that talk because he knows nobody wants to go back into that goddamn slavery. I wonder if I don't think they anticipated that. When they sent everybody home to those jobs, it was like, oh my God, we're going home. Hold up now. I like this. This going home thing ain't all bad. People went home and said, I ain't coming back out. I pray he does everything. I pray the work week becomes the work day. It just reduced that damn thing down to 24 hours and mind your business. Go ahead.
These slavery is forcing people to come back to the office.
Yes, they are.
And get mad when everybody doesn't show up. And then they call a meeting. And then they say, well, why aren't anybody showing up? They said, we've been at home working for 2 years. There's no reason to come in. And they said, if you don't come, we suspend you.
Now, can you imagine how cruel religious groups are? They put the burden of the Sabbath on that little brother or that woman who's being called in to work on Saturday. Or they can't cook. They can't turn their stove on. And they put no burden on industries that force people to come to work no matter what. The children can't even get raised by the children. You got to go out and hire childcare. You got to damn near have a job to pay for the childcare that you need the childcare for. You see, the circle you're in is like, now because I have a job, I need childcare. And I have to use damn near all of the money for the job on the childcare, which means I need a job for the childcare. Here we go. And that's because industries are greedy. They're greedy pigs, hogs. Come on.
Like General Q said, hell,
You're going to need 2 jobs. Right. You need 1 job for your bills, another job for the childcare. All right, I got to go. Come on, next. Anything online? Go ahead. I got to get to my topics too, all right? I'll try to weave them in when I can. Go ahead.
This time check is 8:07. I Latazar Salakia one. May I get a breakdown on Luke 6 and 19? Specifically, went virtue out of him and healed them and healed them all. How did this virtue heal people?
All right. The virtue that Christ had was his ability to heal. That's what virtue is. Virtue is, your ability. If a woman is virtuous, it's that good thing that she has that lets her cook, clean, become a doctor, become a lawyer. Whatever that skill is that she has that provides for her family. Everybody understands. Christ had virtue. What was his virtue? His ability to heal someone. He could put spit on the ground, rub it together with dirt, and put that mud on your eyes, and you would see. He could touch you, and you would the crippled would walk. He could stand before you and pray, and you get up from being dead for 3 days. He had the ability to raise the dead, to heal the sick. And one day as he's walking, someone takes that ability for themselves, meaning he didn't want to heal this person. He didn't choose for this woman to be healed. She chose. She took his ability. She took his virtue from him. And it shocked him because he felt it. He felt that someone had taken his ability to heal for themselves to heal themselves. And he turned around and he said, thy faith has made thee whole. She believed. She believed. Now, think about that when it comes to things in your life. Think about how proactive that is. Let me give you a UPK word. Think about how aggressive that is. Aggression is a UPK trait, quality in here, to be absolutely aggressive, to handle everything in your life with the proper amount of aggression. And so many people fail because they are passive. The commanding General YAHANNA teaches us to be absolutely aggressive. This woman was aggressive and she was healed because of it. Anything else? Next, Mashak.
So this one was not the one with the woman.
Okay.
This is another one.
Okay, so there's a woman that the same thing happened. You can read the one he's speaking about.
Somebody could read Luke 6 and 19.
Luke chapter 6, verse 19. And the whole multitude sought to touch him, for there went virtue out of him, and healed them all.
This is exactly the same scenario that I just talked about. Exactly the same thing. Everybody there went, meaning, let me give you the whole story. This woman did this. And so Christ turned around and said, you know, who touched me? Thy faith have made thee whole. That told the crowd that we all better touch him. They bum rushed him. Which once again, what does that also tell you that you think is special to today, which is not special to today? Sickness, illness. Like, why are they rushing Christ? Fibroids, the HPV virus, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. You understand? We always had these things more prevalent in our community than, of course, any other community. I'm doing research today, brother, about every statistic that blacks and Hispanics are dying and suffering more than anyone else on the planet. And it's always blacks, Hispanics, blacks, Hispanics, blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. Down here in the DMV, you got a terrible STD problem down here. Ooh, it's rough. And you're getting more AIDS than everybody except Miami. Miami, I better get to y'all next. Oh, Atlanta too, somehow. You're beating Atlanta, but you're not beating Miami. We better get down there soon. Yeah. Better call Shawar Yala because they struggling down there. And of course, the communities getting it are blacks and Hispanics. And that's how it always is. But we had these same problems so many years ago. Why? Because we've always been the children of God, which means our Father has always been trying to correct us, always giving us a punishment with the hope that that punishment will change us. And so when Christ came through, and this woman, her particular problem was she had a period for 12 years. What could cause that? Fibroids. Fibroids cause you to have a period that just never stops, ever. And that can happen. It can happen today, right now. And it, of course, happened 2,000 years ago. This woman touched him, brother, and the period stopped. Her faith made her whole. Come on.
I remember I was in Philly one time, or what have you, in a little makeshift bookstore on Market Street. Like it had like a little bookstore in there. There was a young girl in there, or what have you. She got up on the thing, or what have you, and I saw her stomach. You know, sometimes you see the little wrinkles from the child. Right. I saw her stomach. I was like, what the hell? She was like fibroids. I was like, God damn.
It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. And of course, our people, we have all the sickness because we're the ones the Most High is cursing for our sin, but we can't afford health care. We can't afford to go see the apothecary at that time, or what you would call today the chemist or the pharmacists. We can't afford to go to them because they're expensive. And the same way as today. Now here you are today with all the illness, and either you don't have health care or you listen to some internet nut that tells you not to go to the doctor. And so now you're in a jam. Either you can't afford it, or Joe Rogan said, don't go to the doctor. And so now here you are sitting there dying of fibroids and every other thing else. I got to go. You're just in hell, all right? Now, if you want to get out of hell, of course, you got to come back to the Most High's commandments. You got to have some faith up. You got to have some faith. Everybody understands. Next. Shop.
Detroit had a question. Detroit.
Yeah. Shalom, if I could, Dr. Shop. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine, Warrior. Shout out to Detroit. Give Detroit a hand. Go ahead, Al.
Hey, Salaki, General, I would like to get a general breakdown on Revelations, the 4th chapter, 1 through 4. Just a brief breakdown of what it is.
You have it, anyone? The water for the Scotch alchemist, excellent. Give him a hand. Wait. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 4, verse 1 through 4.
Revelation chapter 4 and 1. After this I looked, and behold, a door was open in heaven, and the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I shall show thee things which must be hereafter.
How far do I need to go down, Mashar?
3 more verses.
When it says as if it were a trumpet talking to me, it's expressing how loud the voice was. So it's a voice talking, but the voice is loud, like a trumpet is loud. All right? Everybody understands. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And immediately I was up in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne.
So up in the spirit means what? Now he's gone from here, and now he's having a vision. That's being up in the spirit. Everybody understands. And he sees in that vision, he sees a throne. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone.
A sardine stone, that's the stone of a jasper. The sardine stone is the stone for the tribe of Judah. The jasper stone is someone else's stone, but I can't recall. I only remember that stone because I'm from the tribe of Judah. But meaning it was brilliant. Brilliant in the way it looked. You get my point? Like a jasper stone or a sardine stone, meaning it sparkled and was beautiful. Brilliant. Brilliant means shiny. That's where the term brilliant comes from, all right? Like bright. Keep going.
And there was a rainbow round about the throne.
And he sees a rainbow round about the throne. So imagine a person on a chair. I mean, his face is just sparkling like, diamonds or jaspers or sardines. And there's a rainbow round about, meaning so on the back of the chair, there's a rainbow. Everybody gets it. Keep going.
In sight like unto an emerald.
And on sight unto like an emerald, meaning what? It was shiny and brilliant again. So he sees a rainbow about the throne, meaning around the throne. Keep going.
Verse 4. And round about the throne were 24 seats. And sat upon the seats, I saw 24 elders.
So you want to think about it, like visualize it like I'm sitting here. There's a rainbow over this throne, and there's 24 elders behind me. All right, and they're sitting on thrones. Keep going.
Clothed in white raiment.
They were all wearing white clothing. Keep going.
And they had on their heads crowns of gold.
And they're wearing crowns. So what you want to imagine is a throne room. What are we looking at? Of course, a throne room. Imagine you see the king in the middle, 24 elders behind him, right? They all have crowns on their heads. There's a rainbow over his throne, which is where the rainbow comes from. The Most High puts that in the sky to let you know he is here. It's beautiful and amazing, and it is over his throne. It has nothing to do with gay people or leprechauns. All right? It has nothing to do with that at all. It's something beautiful. It's a miracle that you can see after the rain, a miracle after the storm. And it's around the Most High's throne. And 24 elders are behind him, and they wear crowns because they have authority. They have rulership in heaven. Keep going. That's it. Done. Next.
Next question. Stephanie Jeffrey asks, Shalom, so do I cover my ear while watching classes online?
Well, watching classes online, cover your head. You're in class. So you cover your head. Now, let's say the class is on and you're sweeping or doing something around the house, and you don't have to cover your head. But remember, just like any brother or any sister, when you sit down to go to class, you uncover your head if you're a man. You cover your head if you're a woman. Of course, the internet, when I first came into the truth, there was no internet. So some of these things, we just learned how to do now. There was no going to class over the computer when we came into the school. Now you can go to class over the computer. So you cover your head, sit down and shut your damn mouth and learn something just like you're in class, if that's what you're trying to do. Now, if it's just on in the background and you're doing something else, then you're not in class. You're not trying to pay attention. But if you're trying to pay attention and you're trying to be in class, Salakia, cover your head if you're a woman. Correct. Please.
Like I mentioned, so for those that may have a slave, where part of the dress code is to wear like a hat. Should we not watch the class for the brothers, or can we still watch?
If you're on a slavery and you got a hard hat on, watch the class no matter what. That's what you do. Don't ever not watch the class. Watch this. Tell the Lord, Salakia, Lord. and watch the class. Say, Lord, I can't take this off because why? We're in hell. So I'm going to watch the class so we can get out of hell. You get the point. So watch the class no matter what. Done. Next.
Shalom. Shalom.
Go ahead. Shalom, warrior. Give me one more time.
Like New York, sir. I had a question. What's the right way to say like you're around people in the world, right?
What's the right way to be around people in the world?
Meaning, not like that. In the world, then there is like people worship other gods. Keep it down, right? And then say like you see people on TV who are Muslims and you see them worshiping, right? And like I have like the knack to say like, what are they worshiping? Like, do they not know that they worship anything, right? Mm-hmm. And I wanted to know what's the right manner of how to deal with people who are of other religions. That you're not at camp. You just you're around like other people, and like when I do that, they look at me like disrespectful.
When you do what?
When I mock other people's religion, and they don't exactly quite understand where I'm coming from.
Okay, you give me. I need more of a scenario. Explain.
The scenario. I was at a family's house. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there was a movie, and I was watching the movie 2012, and then the part of the movie where the world is ending, and then there was like Catholic people praying to a statue, right? And I was saying like, what the hell are they praying to? Like do they know they're praying to nothing that is not going to respond to them, right? And I was looked at like I was being disrespectful to.
So you said that aloud. And so the people you were there with said, "Oh, well, why would you say something like that about the Catholics?"
Well, they didn't constant, but this is people in the world, so they're not gonna say it to you. They're just gonna have a look, and you could tell, like I'm disrespecting them.
And are they Catholic?
I don't believe these people know exactly what they are. These are people who don't go to church but believe in God and Christians.
I knew you were going to say that.
Constant.
I mean. Okay, so what's your question?
Okay, so my question, what raised this question up was a scripture in Jonah, when Jonah was on the boat, and then they were saying like, okay, I mean to be too loud, but they were saying like, everybody turn to your God and pray to your God so we can see, to calm the sea, right? I got the scripture right here in 1 and 3 for one, sir.
Okay, this is the precept you're asking me about?
Sir.
Go ahead.
This is Jonah 1 and 5. The mariners were afraid and cried every man unto his God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea to lighten of them. But Jonah was going to the sides of the ship, and he lay fast asleep. 6. So the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, what meanest thou? Am I reading the right one? So okay. Verse 7. Okay, no. Okay, back in verse 6, and said unto him, what meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy God, if so be that God will think upon us, that we perish not.
I got you.
Sir. So
okay.
So now, when it goes down in the story, Jonah's telling them like, verse 9, and he said unto them, I am a Hebrew, and I fear the Most High, Yahweh, right? The God of heaven, which has made the sea and the dry land. Right, but my part was, of course, the heathen or whatever they were at this time, right?
Right.
They was like everybody turned to their God,
right?
And I've heard Commander YAHANNA use this scripture one time on back in the grill when it was the grill, right? And I just wanted the right manner of how to, like, okay, when people in the world think of God. They think of God not knowing, they don't know what God is or anything about God. Right. They still have a sense that there is a creator of heaven and earth.
Right.
But in here we know God and they don't know God.
Right.
I just wanted to know. I don't know how to word my question, sir. Lucky, sir. But okay, there's
are you asking me why do people in the world think that statues in the Catholic Church are God?
So I'm not asking that, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm asking more of how do we try to relate to people based on the concept of God?
Relate. Okay, so what would you have done differently when the movie was on in 2012? So if you related to them, how would you have practiced that day?
I'm not sure, sir. Slack it, sir.
All right. It's all right. Okay. Is there if you don't do you know what specific question you're asking me? If not, I'll just try to explain what you do in a place where people believe in other things. If that's what you're asking me.
Okay, if you could please do that, sir.
No problem. This is what you do. Just like on that boat, let me explain what happened with Jonah. Jonah is on this boat with people who worship every false god, the same false gods that exist today. He's on the boat with them. These people know because they're mariners, meaning mariners are very superstitious to this day. People that travel on boats, seamen, people in the Navy, people that are fishermen, they're superstitious as hell because they're constantly afraid of drowning every damn day. And they're scared to death because they're in a field where they could one day the skies are normal, the next day they're upside down in the Atlantic Ocean. So they're superstitious because they don't know the Most High. You get my point? So when the storm begins to act up, their superstitions kick in. Now, where do these superstitions come from? They come from your mother and your father and your culture. That's it. If you want to know why people believe that Mary is God and this statue is God, their mama told them. Their grandmother. That's where Catholics get it from. When you were a child. You get my point. Hazahab, you there?
I
That's every superstition. That's every religion. Why is this person Muslim? Their father was. You get my point. Their mother was. Why are they Christian? My father was Christian. My mother was Christian. Bad parents pass on their mistakes to their children. Now, can I just only apply that to religion? I can apply that to smoking cigarettes, homosexuality, stealing, lying, all lasciviousness and sin. You're going to get that from your house, from where you grew up. You're going to get every terrible thing that you do. You'll also get the worship of Mary, the Mary statue, from your mom who made you become an altar boy, who sent you down there to be an altar boy to get molested in the church. Why were you there? Your mom sent you down there so you could have a positive role model. And you'll go down there to the church and you'll be an altar boy, put on that white dress, which for some reason they make altar boys wear. Put an altar boy up on the screen with the white dress on. And now you're going to, why? Because your mom wants you to be an altar boy because, boy, those are good boys. And they have they have a positive male role model in the church. So Hazahab, people worship the things that their family worshipped. And that's all don't make it more complicated than that. That's all it is. Nobody thinks about it. Who in the hell thinks about what religion they're in? You just do what everybody else does. Right? Your mom is Christian. All right, I'm Christian too. And that's why even in your family, they don't go to the Catholic Church. But around the house, they've learned that that's Mary and that's Jesus. You don't even have to go to church to be Christian. That's irrelevant going to church. You're going to learn in your house that those are respected religious artifacts. And you're going to pray to Mary. You're going to see it in a second with this Christmas tree. You'll see it. Why does everybody put a Christmas tree in their house? Because they've researched it? Because they've decided it? They're doing it because that is what is done on their block, in their neighborhood. Why did you become a Crip or Blood out there in Los Angeles? Why? Because you thoroughly researched the Crips and the Bloods and chose the color of your choice. You're going to become a Crip because that's what they were on your block. You're going to become a Blood because that's what they were on your block. You're going to become a Vice Lord or a Gangster disciple or a Black disciple, not because of that's what you chose based on examination. You're going to just do what everyone else does. And that's all anyone is doing. The UPK, we are the only people on the planet that are setting about to examine something and to choose it based on its value. No one else does that. It's a completely foreign thing on this planet. You didn't come here because your mother did this or your father did this. That's not why you're here. You could have been anything. And you went and chose the one thing that is the most hated thing. There are other Israelite groups you could have chose. Oh my God, you could have chose a group that would have made your baby's mama happy. Your baby's mama, the IUIC is your baby's mama's favorite Israelite group. They're perfect. When you get a woman who's a bitch and you tell her you want to be an Israelite, now she's going to go research it because that's how she is. She's going on the internet. She's going to look at these Israelite groups just to see who's influencing you, see what you're listening to, and she's going to find the IUIC and she's going to go, well, if you're going to choose one, that's the one. Oh my God, you hear what they had to say? Oh, they listen, look at they only believe in one wife. Here's women, a bitch in the world. Her entire problem with the UPK is our belief that a man can have more than one woman. That's it. You'll know it when you go get a woman in the world. You'll understand what I'm talking about. They don't care about anything else. Why? Because that is the one rule that they can be selfish with. That's it. Now you got other ones that'll care about Christmas and all that, but mainly it's just having more than one wife. So your baby's mama is going to want you to join an Israelite group where they're not so aggressive. They're more pretty and more, pleasant, and they don't act the way we act. And we act wild. Everybody understands that. That's how we are. That's how we always have been. So your baby's mother will not like this, but she will love it if you became a member of the IUIC. She'll love it if you start going to church. If you go to your baby's mama's church, oh boy, and if you walk down that aisle when they invite you to the altar, brother, she's going to go. She's going to stand up. Listen, go walk, be sitting in church with her mad because you're missing the football game. And one day just start, when they say, is there anyone that would like to present themselves before the altar? If you go, I'm going down there, baby. Listen, she's going to go. And she's going to be so happy. Your mom is going to be right next to her. Oh, I knew this day would come. I knew this day. And she is going, everyone will be so excited that you walk down to the altar and let that homo touch you. I mean, that LGBT person touch you. Everyone will be happy as long as you don't join Commanding General YAHANNA and fight this battle. Why? Because that's what everyone else does. Everything else is more familiar to what Mama said. Everything except One West. Everything else just reminds people of another church. And that's what people do. So on that day on the boat, those seamen, one second now, those seamen saw, the storm and they went to their family superstitions. Oh my God, what's happening here? Oh Lord, we got to do something. Throw salt over your shoulder. Oh man, that ain't working. Okay, walk backwards, touch a pole. Don't split the pole. Don't split the pole. Don't walk on no cracks. Hold on, what are we doing over here? Walking on cracks? We can't walk on cracks. We can't touch poles. We can't put Jesus, this is how I grew up. You couldn't put a umbrella on the bed. We got to have collard greens and black-eyed peas. Y'all niggas ain't eating enough black-eyed peas on the 4th of July, on whatever that day, January. Y'all ain't eating collard greens. We got to do something to save this boat. We got to do like this all the time. Say the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus. So we don't die. And then now they went and saw one cat sleeping through it. You understand? He was asleep. He wasn't up doing this. He wasn't up putting the blood of Jesus on the boat. I said, nigga, what is wrong with you? You better get up and pray to you, whatever God you have, because we're all about to die. And when he woke up, he said, oh, snap, I know why we having this. Nigga, it's me. I'm about to get us all killed. Y'all can do this shit all you want. If I don't get off of this boat, we all die. Because the Lord told me to go to Nineveh. I disobeyed him and I didn't go. So you can step on the crack, break your mother's back or whatever. But we dying and they said, oh, no problem. Took him by the scruff. The scruff is I always like to grab somebody right here and right here. It's a good thing I've done once or twice in my life. You get him here and here, Cobalt. And you get him there. Spaghetti! Go ahead.
The hotel, the Rio,
Mm-hmm.
in Vegas, and you're watching the rodeo,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the thing, and you just.
That's a That's what I saw. General Hazayan one time. An African came to the class in Philly, and they came to me. They said, "I think this cat might be African." I said, "No sweat, we'll see." I just start blazing on Africa. He lost his mind. General Hazayan said, "Hagakat, Swabadan." He gave him a wedgie, like the jeans went up there. I saw General Haas walk his ass to the door like this. Wab up down the steps. In total, he was, total decency and in order, and everything was fine and no problem. But that's what happened to Job that day. You understand, Hazahab? Let me make sure I'm answering this question. I'll get to both of you. Hazahab, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Did you get the point? That's all that's going on. That's it. So now, what did you do that day? You do exactly what you did. You were thinking it, and you said it. You would have said it if no Christian was in the room.
Right.
Said, damn, why in the hell are they worshiping this Mary like this? You would have said it if you were there alone. You would have said the same thing. You just say it. What'd they do? They made a little face.
Go ahead. I wasn't asking, why they did. I was asking, like, I was saying I was being rude, by mistake, by saying it out loud, like, yo, these guys
are you asking me, were you being rude by saying it out loud?
Oh, I was being rude. I was.
But how is that being rude? I don't get it.
It's rude because they were looking at it like, okay, we live in a world where everybody has to respect everyone's religions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So me saying that to them, of course, they're gonna feel disrespected. And
when you did it, were you doing it on purpose to disrespect their religion?
Not to disrespect them, but I was doing it because I know what God is. I know what that is ain't God.
I got you. And if you were in the room with brothers, would you have said the same thing?
Yes, I would have, sir.
If you were in the room with your wife, would you have said the same thing?
Sir.
All right, then you said it with them in the room. That's not rude. How the hell is that rude?
Because
guess what? In a minute, they're gonna do something real rude and put a Christmas tree up in that house.
Oh my gosh!
You understand? Like, okay, this is a 1 second, Kabal. You want to say something? Let me hear it. To what?
Isaiah 30:22. Ye shall defile also the covering of thy graven images of silver, and the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a mistress cloth.
So I know. Go ahead. Come on.
Thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence.
Yeah. Okay. There's an amount of offense that cannot be avoided if you're in the truth. Now, they don't give a damn about how they offend you. And once again, that comes from just us being the few among the many. There's a lot of Christians. And so because of that, you can almost feel uneasy about being in the truth. You can feel uncomfortable because you know that you're alone. You know that we're few and it's so many of them. So because of that, how many, if you've ever worried about wearing a shield around your neck, you know what I'm talking about. Of course, the IUIC doesn't wear shields. They took care of that problem for you. They don't believe in wearing a shield. Can you imagine how much that helps them to not wear a shield? You wear this shield, brother. Raise your hand if anyone has ever wondered why you have a shield on and stopped you. Raise your hand. Yeah, that's everyone in this room. Can you imagine being an IUIC where they say, we don't believe in the shield of David? So no more of that. No more uncomfortable feeling because you have to go to your job or go around people rocking the Magun Dawada. Now that's over. They took care of that for you. Well, there's a certain amount of offense that has to happen if you follow Christ. And it cannot be avoided. And I know you're polite and you're kind because everyone in here is polite because we learn to be civilized in the UPK. We're all civilized men and women. But these people in the world, they're animals and they're not civilized. And when it comes time for them to debase you, they're going to do it. When it comes, those same people you were sitting in the room with, Hazahab, when it comes time for them to talk about Christmas and Jesus, you can't even say you're an Israelite. It's offensive to just say, well, the Jews are black. How dare you? That's anti-Semitic. You can't even say it. So people in the world will have to suffer a little uncomfortability when we're around, right? They'll learn how to deal with it. We have. Come on.
It was heavy what you're saying because they refuse to wear the real shield, but they'll wear the Esau shield and pull you over.
The cop, that's something. A cop, like a cop, you can't wear this, but you can wear a badge. And of course, now the IUIC does wear badges, don't they? Because all of them are cops and traitors and cowards and homosexual men. You know, I'm not making that up. That's a fact. Please. Please.
Knowledge. They come hard. Knowledge. They come hard. We don't come that hard because we understand that there has to be a balance. So you have in any faction that you have, you're gonna have somebody that's a little harder and somebody that's a little softer. Unfortunately, in New York, that's how New Yorkers are. They hard in New York. I mean, I know you know, we come with our own spin of the truth. It's still what they saying is still right, but maybe their approach needs to be a little better. And I agree with that.
He agrees with the white, but I need what the Edomite said in the beginning. Give me rewind to what the oppressor said.
Okay.
Listen. The oppressor said, well, what about those cats in New York? You know, how they speak the way they speak. And he said that fake Israelite just gave us a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt. The I.S.U.P.K, we come hard. Very hard. I pray you understand. Clap it up over there, sister. Give him a hand. Get this side of the room a hand over here. Oh, yeah. And I.S.U.P.K, we come hard. And they come soft. Very soft. Moving on. Where are we at? Come on, brother. You had a question?
Sir.
Please.
That brother made an Israelite woman. He made her sword shield David in the trash.
This same one?
Yeah, that brother.
Yeah, look at that. Well, now she won't have problems with her family and her mom and on her job. Now she doesn't have to wear anything that might get her ostracized. And me, I'd rather die. You understand? I'd rather die. Come on.
Sir.
Say again? If you don't mind. Go ahead. Well, I'm waiting. I think right here, brother. You want to say something?
Concert. It was just, I was going to ask, was this a precept?
Mm-hmm.
In the context of what he was saying. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Scottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
That's a perfect precept. That's people in the world. That's how they are. So they don't, they worship, some statue you can make and buy in some store, and yet they refuse to obey the God of heaven. And that's just that. And that's what every religion. If you want to make a very successful religion, give me Jamal Bryan and what he said this week. If you want to have when I say successful, I mean rich and have a lot of members. It's no different than if you got what the Edomite said, that's perfect. Okay, no sweat, no problem. Well, the Edomite asked him, well, are you the same ones that are in New York? Is that who you are? Well, he said, oh, no. See, they come hard. We come soft. And he's right. He's right about that. He told the truth. Hard, very hard. You hear that right there? You hear that, don't you? That's how it is. Moving, I tried to move on. You know where this is going. So let's get off of this. This is going bad. You have the kids to go. The kids have to go upstairs. All right, go ahead.
Okay, the
Brittany Griner.
Right, right. Okay, think about it because a lot of people in the world and blacks in Jakes in the world, but also they're upset with the swap because they feel like it's uneven, it's lopsided. Whereas though Russia gets back, so-called dangerous man who can get weapons, into anywhere,
right?
And compared to a basketball player,
of course.
Now, with her being even though she's a lesbian, with her being Israel, I was trying to watch
because they make Jake is making fun of her.
Right.
Like, oh, she oh, we got back Joanna Man. That's what they say. We got back Joanna Man.
Right.
And things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But with her still being Israel, I didn't know how to. I wanted to know the UPD stance on that.
No problem. So let me just explain your question to everyone, right? Everyone else, give me John 15 and 13, right? The brother's question is this: Brittany Griner just got released because of a swap that the United States had with Russia today. Russia, America had a prisoner in America. I forget his name. Come on.
Victor Bott.
Victor Bott. Now, this cat is a Day of the Jackal terrorist. You understand what I mean? This cat is, Day of the Jackal. They call his nickname is the Merchant of Death. That's how big this cat is. This cat just starts wars in countries and supplies both sides with weapons. They make movies about people like this, and that is not an exaggeration. They make movies about this cat right here, a Day of the Jackal assassin. Come on.
In Central and South America.
And he kills Israelites, starts all kinds of wars in Central and South America, supplies both sides with weapons, all working to the end to help somehow the Russian government. All right. He is, an astronomical threat on the planet.
God, Victor Anatolievich Bott is a Russian arms dealer and entrepreneur and a former Soviet military translator. He used multiple companies to smuggle weapons since the collapse of the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe to Africa and Middle East during the 90s and early 2000s.
So just think about wars you hear about all the time on the news. This is him, the one supplying these wars, him. And Brittany Griner is a WNBA player with a 9.9 rebound average.
I could be wrong. I think they had a movie with Nicolas Cage. It's called Lord of War. That's about that Russian news.
It's about him. That's correct.
And another point is that Marines are mad because they left John Whelan in jail.
Yeah, I forgot. America said, well, listen, we'll give you the Day of the Jackal, but you're going to have to give us who you have, because they have Navy SEALs over there in Russian prisons. The Russians said, no, we're not giving you the Navy SEALs. We'll give you that basketball player with a 9.9 rebound average. 9 points. That's 9 points more than you. And the Russians said, no, we're not giving you, because the Russians have some cat over there that's Jason Bourne. The Russians got some cat in prison who is straight up and down Jason Bourne, the Bourne identity. And the Russians said, we are not giving him up ever. That's that. But the America did give over Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death. So now, I believe Levi's question is, what is the ISUPK stance on the trade that America made for Brittany Griner? Listen carefully. The U.S. was absolutely right to trade Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death, because Brittany Griner is just a baby girl. That's what. Because she's a girl. Brittany Griner is not a man. Brittany Griner is a soft, little, sweet baby girl. And when there's danger, men have to put themselves in danger for women. If there's a ship that goes down, if you're on a boat, we talked about Job and that boat going down, right? Well, if there's a boat, if you're on a boat and the boat begins to sink and they only have a limited amount of lifeboats or life jackets, or you know what the rule is, right? To this day, women and children first. Women get to live where men get to die. That's life. That's the burden of being a man. And for you women that don't want to obey a man, just remember that's the benefit of being a woman. Because when it's time to die, we'll do it for you. We'll do it. You can go home because you're just a sweet little baby girl. And Brittany Griner is just a little girl. She has to go home. But let me tell you what a man has to do. Go to John 15, the one I just asked you for. Now, if Brittany Griner is a man who has a wife, if she's a man, then she has to stay in that jail. so that Americans don't die when they let out that Russian. That's what she has to do. If I'm given the choice to stay in prison or else some man gets out of jail that's going to murder people, I have to stay in jail, Kubal. I don't have a choice. You understand? I have to stay. The minute someone says, well, they want to let you out, but if they let you out, then a mass murderer is going to be free, then I will do my time. Then I'll stay here. Then I can't get out because I can't leave prison knowing that other people will die. But then again, I'm a man. Yo soy hombre. I'm a man. So I have to stay in jail. I don't have a choice. I have to stay. But Brittany Griner, sweet baby, go home. That's all. Just go home. Just go home. That's all. No big deal. You're a woman. Right now, you know you're a woman, don't you? It's real evident when that boat is sinking. I want to see how many bulldaggers say when they say women and children first. I want to see if Queen Latifah isn't the first one to get on that lifeboat. I want to see it. That's all. Just show me. Just show me, because I know what will happen. When they say women and children first, the transgender men are getting on the boat. They getting on there. Now, I want to see if Queen Latifah doesn't knock down a transgender and say, nigga, move out of here. I'm a woman. I'm getting on the lifeboat. Let me tell you what men have to do, sweet babies. Go to John 15, the one I asked for just now.
John chapter 15, verse 13.
This is John 15 and 13.
Greater love have no man than
have no what?
Greater love have no man.
Have no what?
No love.
Greater love hath no man. This is what men have to do. This is your life. You've been born with a penis. That means when you were 8 days old, someone came and ripped the skin off, because that is life. You understand? You're going to be scarred at 8 days old. Now you know what it is to be a man. Now you'll know. Women don't know what that is at 8 days old. But at 8 days old, you're going to scream and cry, and blood will come down your diaper because you're soy es hombre, because I'm a man. So now because of that, I bleed at 8 days old. The skin was ripped off of my penis at 8 days old. Christ said, greater love hath no man. Go ahead. Than this. Go.
That a man lay down his life for his friends.
So here's the choice. Either I get to go home, or the merchant of death gets free to kill more people. The choice was made the day I was born. I have to stay in jail. I'll stay here. How long did I have? I'll do 7. You can't do 7 years of jail. You're a man. You can't jail. You can't get locked up. Raise your hand, brothers, if you've been locked up. Oh yeah, you can do it. It's no problem. Wow. Listen, Brittany Griner was going to be the biggest lesbian in the world on a woman's penal colony. She was going to run the whole place. She's 7 foot tall. On a woman's prison. She would have been fine. She would have been just fine. All right. Meanwhile, you're a man. You're going to go to jail to a man's prison. Oh, Brittany, you don't want none of that, sweetie baby. Lord, Brittany, you don't want that. Brittany, you do not want to ever go to those 9 points ain't going to work in a man's prison. No, you're gonna have to be better than that up in there, sweet pie. All right, because a man's prison, that's a whole different thing. Do you understand? That's a thing where you're going to fight immediately. When someone looks at you or goes looked at your honey bun, we're gonna die over that honey bun. That's what we're gonna do in here tonight. Die. Somebody is dying over this honey bun. I don't want to hear though. You don't want no honey bun, nigga. You want that honey bun. The minute you get in it, now you ain't hungry now. Nigga, listen. You hungry. You want that chicken leg. You want that honey bun. You want that orange. Katham was in there but just got out. Katham, who took your honey bun? Not a goddamn self. You understand? I don't care if I'm totally full. I want all the honey buns that they give me in there. You don't have a choice to just not want your honey bun. You don't get that. Ain't up to you. You can't say, well, I'm full. No, you're not. You got to kill him over that honey bun. You have to. Why? Because you're not a girl. Do you understand? You're not a girl. Brittany Griner, go home, baby. That's all right. Now let me find you a good man. That's all. Just give me a call. Give me a call. Let me find you a good man up in here. You know, you give him that money that you're gonna get money from writing books and things like that. Let's just get one of these good brothers in here. They ain't scared of that 7 foot. Who's scared of a 7 foot woman? Any of y'all? Raise your hand. They ain't scared of that shit. Go ahead.
Her wife has been talking to Biden.
Right.
We're not gonna vote for you anyway.
Right.
All this other shit.
Well, I hear you. Okay, because she's a girl, what choice did you have? If she was a man, you'd have to tell the president, do not let me out, because people's lives will be in danger if you let that terrorist out of prison. You would have to stay in jail. You would have to sacrifice your life for other people. Done. Next. Please.
I have a question about Genesis chapter 9, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 questions, sir.
Mm-hmm.
When Ham saw his father's nakedness, when Ham got cursed, was it just simply that he saw his father naked, or do we know that he did an action?
He did an action. That's how he saw it. How do you know for a fact he did an action? Because Shem did the action to not see it. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Shem, you pull it. You have it right in front of you, I'm sure, right? Okay, let me just catch everyone up with you. This is when the whole nation was just Noah and his family. Noah, 3 sons, 3 women, and Noah's wife. That's it. That's the chosen people of God at that time. Started small and grew into a nation of people. All right. This is the time Noah had a drinking problem. He was an alcoholic. He had a drinking problem. And of course, after everyone was killed on the planet, he had good reason to drink then. So now he's extra drunk at this time. And so he had 3 sons, and Ham came out of the tent laughing and saying, our father is naked in the tent drunk. As some of you brothers who have been around alcoholics, for some reason they got to get naked. I don't know what the hell this is about. They got to take off their shirt. You know, you'll see somebody get in a fight and they got to take off their shirt. And the truth, I go, well, why? Like, what? Why do you want to fight? You want to fight? Like, what is why you got to get naked because we're going to fight? I don't get it. And of course, if you have clothes on, it's better if he has a knife. But somehow in a fight, you got to strip naked to fight. That's the demon inside of you. All right. Well, anyway, he's in the tent naked. Ham goes in there and sees him naked, comes out and laughs to his brothers, Shem and Japheth, saying, our father's in the tent naked, drunk. When Shem hears it, him and Japheth go into the tent backwards. Meaning, imagine walking like this, backwards, so that you do not look at your father's nakedness. And they covered him with a mantle, with a blanket. And when he woke up the next day from his drunkenness, Noah cursed Ham for his insolence, for how dishonorable he treated his father when his father was in need of mercy. And that's why the Africans are servants of a servant. That's why in their own country, with their own language, they serve oppressors right now. Did I answer your question, or did you have some other question? Come on.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
I don't have the scripture,
Mhm.
but I got into a conversation with a Christian.
Right.
And he was coming at he's just coming at general Hebrew. He was just coming at
the Hebrew language in general, or Hebrew Israelites, so-called in general. Gotcha.
He was saying that it was wrong for us to tell people not to have sex. That having sex was marriage, because the scripture I had, but I just lost it, was when the law was explaining what you do if you find a damsel that is a virgin, how you would go to their father. So his argument was that we were wrong for telling people that sex was marriage, because you had to go to their father or somebody who's in charge of them and write out a contract. And he was relating that to that contract. He was relating that contract with the father and the man.
Someone hold 1 Corinthians 6. Someone hold, pause right there. Make sure you say what you just were about to say. Someone else hold 1 Corinthians 6:6. Continue. What were you about to say?
He was relating that going to the father and betrothing, setting up the betrothal of the woman,
right,
as going to court.
He's saying that when you go to court to get a marriage license, that's the same thing as going to a woman's father to get permission.
Yep, and he was saying.
So the court is her father.
He was saying wrong, but telling them that just sex is marriage. When you betrothing somebody is also marriage.
So he's saying that for you to marry someone, you have to do what? Because I know that this Christian knows that a lot of women you meet don't know their father, right? They don't know him at all. You couldn't meet him if you wanted to, because she doesn't know who the hell he is. But he's saying what?
He was saying, because I made that example.
Of course.
He said, well, the scripture said that you have to go to the father and ask, and that's the same thing as court. So if a woman doesn't have a father, then.
And if she does have a father, do you still have to go to court?
He was saying he agreed that, in a sense, no.
So if she has a father, then there's no reason to go to court. But if she has a father, if she doesn't have a father, then you go to court. Is that what he's saying?
No. He was making an example because.
What about her mother? Could you go to her mother if she doesn't have a father?
I didn't ask you.
Right, that's what you want to do. But remember, that wasn't a conversation. In the UPK, we call that a battle. And you want to think like that. You're having a battle with this Christian. So when you know that, then you can get your mind in that mode. And when you battle someone, attack them. Ask them questions. Because the more you keep asking them questions, he is not going to have an answer for these questions. Which is what I was just practicing with you. You just keep asking, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? He's going to say, and then, of course, now you can hurt him metaphorically. Hurt him. Everybody understands. I'll of course answer your question. Come on. Yes, 1 Corinthians 6:6. So now, what he just said is the same thing the IUIC believes. The IUIC believes that you are not married unless you have a marriage license, unless you go to court and get a marriage license. Why do they believe that? Because that's what everybody believes, and that's what your baby mother believes. She believes the same thing. That's what every dirty bitch in the world believes. They believe the exact same thing, that we're really not married unless we have a marriage license. Am I wrong, brother, or not? Is that what you're familiar with? Solid. So let me ask you a question. Okay. If sex is not marriage, and marriage is only having a marriage license, then what is sex? Please.
He was saying that betrothing somebody is a part, and then having sex is like the consummation. We agree that having sex was the consummation of marriage. So he was saying that you cannot go and tell somebody that having sex is just marriage.
I got you, but listen to the question. I'm not asking you what is marriage. I'm asking you what is sex. What is it then? It's not marriage, according to him, right? So then what is it? Please. What would he say?
The consummation of
okay, well then that's a circle, because of course I'll look up consummation, and what am I going to read? What am I going to find when I look it up? Do you know?
Like the ending, like
the ending of marriage?
Like
Let him answer. Go ahead.
The completion.
The completion of marriage? Let's look it up real fast. Go ahead. Oh, well, that is what it is then. Yeah, because that's exactly what it is. Because if sex is not marriage, now, okay, let's say if he says sex is the consummation of marriage, then we just need to look up consummation, right? Whenever you have it, you let me know. What kind of scotch we dealing with here tonight, bro? It's the good one. Oh yeah, I thought so. When am I going to stop liking this Lafroig? Why is it like I've never had it before? Each time I have it, I'm shocked. Explain that to me. You're a seasoned man. Why is it when I have it, it's like I've never had it before? It got me. I don't know what it is. Damn. Go ahead,
So this is the Merriam-Webster definition of consummation. The first one is the act or process of consuming. The second one is used by or exposure to a particular group or audience. Use of something.
Well, that's the different word. That's consume The word we're looking for is what again?
Consummation.
Yeah.
It's on the words,
Oh, go ahead.
The act of making a marriage or relationship complete by having sexual intercourse.
Okay, brother, right here. Look up on the front. Look, you see that first thing there? The act of making a marriage or relationship complete. So if you don't have sex, then are you married?
Nah.
So the only way you can be married is if it's right here. Is if you have sex. Right? That's it. So then if someone says, well, sex is not marriage, but sex is the consummation of marriage, then and you can't be married without sex, then sex is marriage. It's saying it. In the definition, it's saying it. So now, but if sex is not marriage, then what is sex? You know what sex is? Fun. Pleasure. Something that makes you have an orgasm. That's what it is then. Because if it's not marriage, then it's pleasure. Then it's eating, drinking, having fun. And that's why people who don't believe that sex is marriage have sex with everybody. But they only marry one woman. You understand? Now, we're the only ones that believe sex is marriage on the planet. Christians believe what, brother? Is marriage. And of course, Christians never have sex with anyone except for their wife. Is that right? Is that right? Right. Was your parents Christian? Were they married?
Yes.
That's rare and special. Most people, their parents aren't married at all. Really, most of us are here because of a bottle of vodka. Vodka is the consummate. Because there's vodka, we all live and exist. Really, with no vodka, we don't get to live. It's a miracle. It's a miracle birth. And of course, if most people don't know who their father is, then of course, they don't stay together. You get my point. How many people that get a marriage license stay married? Do you know? Yeah, about 55% get divorced, right? Your mother, father, they didn't get divorced. They're still together today. They are together. They separated. Well, did they have a marriage license? They had a marriage license. Damn. So then they're still together. Oh, well, he's dead. Well, that's very rare. Because you understand that most people, their father just goes down, that same place where you go get a marriage license? What else can you get down there tomorrow? A divorce. You just walk right in the same door. And here's a line. There's 2 stacks of paper. Here's the divorce pile. Here's the marriage pile. You pick up which one you want. And also 2 gay men can do either one. Right? I'm going to give you a precept proving that everything that people say about a marriage license is a lie. It's right here. I'm going to read it for you, okay? 1 Corinthians 6:6. Go ahead. So now you can go to the court. And let me explain to you also why an evil bitch in the world likes this. An evil bitch in the world does not trust that you are an honorable man and that sex with you can be forever simply based on your integrity. They don't believe in that. And, you halfway can't blame them because look who they had sex with before. Every nigga in the neighborhood. They didn't have sex with everybody. And so now here you are saying, well, listen, if we have sex, I'm never going to leave you for the rest of your life. She can't believe that because the nigga told her that when she was 13. Everyone says they're going to stay with her. So she doesn't believe you when you say you will never leave her. She needs what? Who can give me the word I'm looking for? She needs what? Insurance that you'll never leave her. Confirmation that you'll never leave her. And she, in her stupidity, believes that a piece of paper means you will stay with her. When it will not, because the majority of marriages done in court end in divorce. The majority of them. She believes that this paper gives her somehow security when it doesn't. Come on.
And statistically, most of those divorces, he's the one filing.
Well, Captain, you're taking my. I was about to make that point. Give him a hand. Let me give you an even bigger dummy. Here's an even bigger dummy. The man that thinks that woman is not going to leave you because you have a marriage license, that bitch is leaving you up. She's leaving you. She's going. That same woman who tells you you must get a marriage license. You must get a marriage license. She's going to leave you when you do what? Who can blow my mind? Give me something that every man with a marriage license does. The statistics say, at least more, the statistics say that more than half do this. Who knows? Oh, no, they don't get, married men don't get other wives. People that believe in more than one wife don't get more wives. But what do they do? Cheat on you. Cheat on you. Half of every married man of every race is going to cheat on you. That's the ones that admitted it in the survey, right? That number is probably about 85%. Right? Or not 100%. Come on.
Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation.
Almost half, every last one. So when you go and cheat on that woman, what is that woman who said, this paper means it's forever? This paper is forever. We have a marriage license. When you cheat on her, what is she going to do? Brother? How about when you lose your job? When you lose your job, what's going to happen? When you get depressed and sad over you losing your job and you're sitting home playing video games all day, what is she going to do? Get a divorce. Let me give you something else. Hell, when that guy on her job is so much more handsome than you, and he's so nice, and she's with him 8 hours a day, and and he makes her, oh, he's so funny, them niggas on that job. They professional comedians, them cats on your mind. Your wife is working next to she's working next to Eddie Murphy. Your wife is sitting at the desk next to Kevin Hart and Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor because they're so funny. So when her work husband, and remember, he's so funny because he doesn't have to deal with her nonsense. You ain't funny. Nothing you say is funny. Ain't nothing funny about you. Nothing. The minute she see you, she get depressed and sad. Looking at you. Look at her. She come home. The minute she walk in the door, she happy first. She put her keys in the door. Hey, he's still here. Then she go. Yeah, he here. Who you talking to? My sister. Yeah. She's going to divorce you because she's not happy. Do you understand? So what in the hell is the point of doing it? A marriage license is not only a waste of time and money, it's useless. It does nothing, so Shalom Warrior. It does nothing at all. Let me explain marriages to you in the best way to generally how to make me understand it. A marriage ceremony in a church is like a birthday party. It's the same. You're going to have fun and have a beautiful day. And then next year, you'll have another one. And another one. And another one. And some of these hoes are going to get married 5 and 6 times out. And they're going to wear white every time. They're going to be 45. This is how it happens. You're going to be 45 years old, and the ring bearer is your kids. All your children are there to ring bearers. Your daughter is going to be your maid of honor. Your 27-year-old daughter. All of the kids you have with other men are going to be the wedding party in your future marriages. What in the hell is the point? Who had their hand up? Come on.
See an article that said researchers estimate that 41% of all first marriages end in divorce, 60% of all second marriages end in divorce, and 73% of all third marriages end in divorce.
Yeah, all right. That's a lot of security, right? But listen carefully, sweet babies. Okay. In the UPK, we can offer you security. We can offer that. And I mean real security. Absolute, ironclad marriages. That's what we have in here. Ironclad. They never end. They never end. Marrying a man in the UPK is the end of all of your tears, the end of your crying, the end of your loneliness, the end of you not knowing if he's going to stay with you. If you marry one of these men, oh, he's staying with you. Who knows why? Because if you're in the UPK, there's a father that watches over that marriage. You understand that, right? There's a father in here that watches over every marriage. Give me the precept I asked for. You can read it out. 1 Corinthians 6 and 6.
1 Corinthians 6 and 6. But brother, go up to law with brother.
We'll read it one more time. Where are we looking at? We good? Okay. 15 more minutes. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 6. But brother, go up to law with brother. And that before the unbelievers.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think you might be missing one word in there. Am I right, Ms. Sharp? 6 and 6. I don't hear you say dare any of you. Am I the wrong one? Am I the first verse? Read the first verse up. I'm sorry, 6 and 1. My apologies. Go ahead up.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 1. Dare any of you.
Read that again.
Dare any of you.
Read it again.
Dare any of you.
What does dare any of you mean? Meaning, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Dare any of you. Go ahead.
Have a matter against another. Go to law before the unjust and not before the saints.
Don't you ever have a matter against each other and go to law before the unjust instead of the saints. If you want security in your marriage, you better do it in here, not before sinners. Are you telling me you go to a judge because you want to make sure your husband doesn't leave you? So you go to court. Going to court is how you'll make sure that your husband will not leave you. Don't you dare. Don't you ever do anything like that. How dare you go to court before the unjust instead of the what?
Saints.
Instead of the saints. Let me ask you a question. Is the court system just? Yeah, nigga, get arrested. You know. Get pulled over. So you're telling me the same court system that black people marched in the streets and burned down cities about how unjust judges are in what's that city in Wisconsin? Ferguson, Missouri. Ferguson, Missouri, they had a riot. Baltimore, right here in Baltimore, a riot over how unjust the court system is. Then you'll go down tomorrow and get a marriage license in that same court system. The court system is unjust. How dare you go to them for a marriage instead of the saints? Every woman in the UPK has a father. Everyone. The Lord said any unmarried woman devotes herself to the Lord. A married woman devotes herself to the husband. If you're a woman in the UPK, your camp leader is your father. He takes the position of your father in your life. And now he decides who you marry. Not you. Little girls in here don't decide who they get married to. The world can do that. And the world does a terrible job at that. The only worst person to decide who they marry is the girl herself. She cannot choose a husband. She's terrible at it. She chooses a husband the way she chooses the latest trend, the latest fashion trend, or, there's 1,000 trends that girls love right now and they don't love later. Everybody understands that. You see everybody making those pretty pictures on Facebook, right? That's popular. Give yourselves a hand. The pictures are wonderful. Listen, y'all niggas look like angels. You look like angels. Now that picture trend is very popular now. It won't be in a week. That's marriages in the world. You understand? It's fun now. And your wife is going to love you for about 6 months. 2 years, she has a work husband in 2 years. Right? But marriages in here, they're ironclad and they last forever because her camp leader is her husband. Her camp leader is her father. Your camp leader is your father. And you have to go to them to get married. And once you have sex in here, we never let you out of it. If you're in the UPK and you marry a woman and you want to leave her, You cannot be a member of this school and leave your wife. If you leave your wife, we're kicking you out the school. If you're a woman in the UPK, and you want to leave your husband and have sex with someone else, we're kicking you out this school. We don't need more members. We're fine. We got too many members as far as I can tell you. Too many. Too many. I can barely get big enough because I got to be on the phone constantly. So we got too many members. We don't need you. If you leave your husband, you leaving here as well. What some of you dummies don't understand is this. You can't hold on to the truth without letting go of something. Right. You're going to have to let go of the way you were in the world, of your concept of sex, which was pleasure. That's what sex is to Christians. All these Christians that believe marriage is a piece of paper. That little boy ain't got no piece of paper.
Right. Right.
How they molesting these kids then? Did they get a marriage license with the boy? Right? How are they gay? How are they having gay sex in there? And while they're married, how are there down low men? If a marriage license is marriage, then how are there any men that are down low in the Christian church? Any answer for that? You want to ask him that kind of question. You understand? Because the reason that AIDS is so prevalent is because of down low men who have sex with straight women, and those straight women, of course, give sex to everybody else. I don't know how there's so much child molestation in church if you have to have a marriage license for sex. I'll get confused by that. Please.
Example.
Oh, here we go.
That's the one who had sex with the tranny.
Oh!
Next to Nick.
See, this is Nathaniel 7 for some reason. I don't know what the hell that means. 7. And this cat he's with right here had sex with a transsexual man. Put that picture up on there. You know what transsexual is? Back when I was young, we called them transvestites. That's the old term for them, transvestite. Now they're transsexual. Somehow they switch sexes. All right. Well, anyway, he had sex. He's a member. He was a member of the IUIC. Now he's a member of prison. But he was a member of the IUIC in Atlanta, I believe. I don't remember. Had sex with a transsexual man. After the sex was over, he was riddled with guilt and then shot the man that he had sex with just a minute ago. They arrested him in the purple shirt. The original picture, he had the purple shirt on. Here's him right here. The IUIC believes that marriage can only be had with a marriage license. Then how can you have sex with a transsexual then? I'm confused. Because really, if sex is marriage, then of course you couldn't have sex with transsexuals. Christians couldn't molest children. They couldn't rape people. They couldn't do a lot of things. Somehow sex is marriage. I mean, a marriage license is marriage, but they find the time to molest children and rape women and have sex with transsexual men because to them, sex is marriage. No, to them, sex is
it's pleasure.
Nothing. And when sex is nothing, you can do it with everybody. Right. I pray you understand that. Right. Oh, if sex is nothing. That's him right there. He'd have never got in here. Just the look of him, but not. You know what? Let's we're not accepting new members at this time. I hear you. Okay. Any more? Read 6 and 6. If I'm right about that. Give me the Jamal Bryant thing, because I got to get the hell up out of here. What does 6 and 6 say?
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 6. But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. Verse 7. Mm-hmm. Now therefore there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law one with another.
You go to law. Now you going in what? Signing a contract about love? What in the hell are you even talking about? A love contract? What in the hell is that? So what I signed this, that means the court will force me to love you. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know. I don't know if a court can force people to love each other. I don't know if that's a real thing. Do you understand? You understand me? That you go into court for what? To force somebody to love you? The same court give them a paper that says they don't have to love you anymore. Keep reading. Give me the saints shall judge the world. Where's that at? Keep going. Read 2, Shalaki. Skip up to 2.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Don't you know that? I need the justice of the peace for me to love my woman. She needs a court to make me love her. Don't you know the saints shall judge the world? We can handle that. We'll deal with it. That's why a lot of you are so upset about what's that football player's name? Deion. Oh, you're so sad about Deion Sanders, aren't you? That broke your little heart, didn't it? Deion Sanders has to stay on his job forever. He can't never get a better job. He has to work for that college forever. You want rich men to do all of the hard labor. You want them to have integrity. You want to look up to people, don't you? That's your goal. Let me find some rich nigga that I can put all of my hope and dreams in him. Meanwhile, if I can get a better job at a white place, I'm going. Meanwhile, raise your hand in here if you only eat at black restaurants. Then shut your mouth. That's all. Shut your effing mouth. Because I think if them Benjamin might charge you another, go pay that $50 for them oxtails. Go ahead. I would tell Mashak, you need to check these niggas about this out. Mashak, the tribe, now I'm confessing for the tribe of Judah now. The tribe of Judah has been complaining behind your back, Mashak, about the price of oxtails and what's that fish that costs about $100? Say it again. Escovitch red snapper, which is about $75 a plate. The tribe of Judah complains behind your back about the price of West Indian food. And we all sit there and go, what? How much? $50 for oxtails? I'm going to Wendy's. You know where you're going? You pass by the Benjamin, the West Indian restaurant, and where do you go? Popeyes. Ooh, you love your Popeyes. Is that a black restaurant? I don't think so. So you telling me you don't spend your money in the West Indian restaurant? Why? Because the oxtails are $50. Go spend your money in there. You don't care about money. You care about blackness, don't you? You care about the culture. Deion Sanders, he gotta give up money. You can't pay $25 for a plate of oxtails? Shut your mouth. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe instead of expecting rich men to have all of our hopes and dreams wrapped up into them, maybe I'll take the responsibility to keep my family together, to keep my marriage together, and to keep my community together. Maybe it's on me. Maybe I can't depend on Kanye West and Kyrie Irving and Deion Sanders to save black people. Maybe the poor will have to save one another. Maybe that's the only way. We can't depend on the court system to make marriages work. We will have to make them work. We'll have to do it. I pray you understand. Anything else? I got to get into the topic now. We'll deal with this another day, all right? Just save your questions. I'll get to them wherever I'm at, all right? Let me get into the Jamal Bryant. I think I did what did I not do? I did the Brittany Griner. I forgot it already.
I'm looking for people that smell like
Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker, I went on that a little bit. Herschel Walker is another example. Herschel Walker he lost, right? Herschel Walker is, of course, he's not a bright man. Okay? Herschel Walker is not smart. Lord be with him. He's not smart. It ain't no sin to, he did play football. He probably got that CTE. I think I got that CTE. I think I got some of it too. But who cares? The difference doesn't make. But he probably has that CTE. He is not smart. But now he lost the election in Georgia. And many people don't understand why black people even voted for him and why so many white people voted for him. They voted for Herschel Walker because white people have something that black people do not have: integrity for their religion. Those white people that voted for Herschel Walker are against abortion. And the person who won the election is a preacher who is pro-abortion. Herschel Walker is not a preacher. Herschel Walker had like 3 abortions. He's any Jake in the world. He's any Jake in the world. But here's the problem. He's against abortion, and he's the Jake in the world. But the reverend, the preacher who won, is pro-abortion. That could only happen in the black community. Even in prisons. When you go into the jail lot, white people and the so-called Spanish-speaking tribes in there, they don't abide punks and homosexuals in prison. They don't abide that. The only people in prison that abide homosexuals is the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah abides gay people, the LGBTQ community, in prison. And they allow you to go have sex with punks in jail. When the white people in prison, they stab you over being a punk. But of course, black people in prison abide punks. Why? The Black Christian Church. The Black Christian Church is the most decadent, hypocritical entity on the planet. Even more hypocritical than white organizations. More hypocritical. Because a white Christian will vote for Herschel Walker instead of voting for a reverend who's pro-abortion. And you know they don't even like black people. You think white people in Georgia like black people? They hate black people. But Herschel Walker is against abortion. And they'll vote for him. How do you, as a black reverend, as black Christians, how do you support something that your religion is against? And let me make that very clear. Christianity as a doctrine is against homosexuality, is against abortion. They're against it as doctrine. And yet, when it comes to politics, you vote for a preacher who is pro-abortion because your religion never enters into your personal life. And that's the problem with being black. That's the problem with religion. You can believe whatever you want. It will never, you can believe that what? A marriage license is what? A marriage license. Christians believe a marriage license is what? Marriage. And yet, because they get divorced. You remember, we believe sex is marriage. And once we have sex with a woman, we never leave her. They believe a marriage license is marriage. And when they get a marriage license, they get divorced. Because whatever you believe, it will never change your personal life. It never interferes with your desire. Never. And that's why, without being in the UPK, you'll never have integrity. That's right. You'll never fight. You'll never let go of what you need to take hold of God. You'll never do it. Everybody understand? What I want to bring up here, Michelle? I'm sorry, right here, brother, please.
Like, if I could, real quick, I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but Herschel Walker has a diagnosed mental illness, multiple personality disorder since he was like 10 years old.
Herschel Walker is diagnosed with split personality disorder. Now, do you know what that is? That is, you ever see the movie Split? Okay, split personality disorder is some Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger type of, that ain't schizophrenia. That's where, who you talking to? I'm Jane. Jane, can I talk to Herschel? Herschel ain't here right now. Oh, shit. Dang. Split personality disorder is scary. He has that, diagnosed with it. Come on.
So he says the year he won the Heisman, that was another personality. He
somebody
doesn't even remember it.
He don't know
The
who.
whole year.
Somebody else won that Heisman. Somebody else. Whoever that nigga is, he sure can play football. Herschel Walker got a nigga in him. I remember him. You remember him, Shalimar. That nigga could play, whoever he was. Well, I mean, he could play. Whoever that cat was could play. Well, listen, why did white people vote for him? He damn near won. It was a runoff election, which means he got a little less than half the vote. And they stayed full of racists from a party that is the majority racist. Why? Because of abortion. And black people, your preacher believes in abortion. Your reverend believes in abortion. Why do you even go to church? That's the thing. Like Hazahab asked, why do you believe in Mary? Why do you go to church? What is the point of any of this? Oh, I forgot. Tradition. Your mama did it. Your grandmama did it. So you just do it. And your grandma was a hypocrite too. That grandma that you love so damn much and you act like she was Mama Moses, like she was Harriet Tubman. She was a hypocrite. My grandmama loved God while she served you chitlins and did everything. And God knows where grandpop is. God knows wherever the hell he went. She loves God so much. My mama loves God. She doesn't. She doesn't. She loves God in the framework of Christianity, which means you don't have to love him at all. You have to just talk about it. Give me the Jamal Bryant. I can get the hell out.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, up.
I just wanted to bring up one thing that happened when everything was coming out with his own abortion scandals. This is a Republican like radio host who, this is her quote: "I don't care if Herschel Walker paid to abort endangered baby eagles. I want control of the Senate." That was said by some white woman named Donna Loesch. They really wanted to get this cat in the office.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and they don't give a damn about him having no abortions, because if he becomes senator, he's going to vote against abortion. Now, what I'm trying to understand from anybody who is a Christian, who loves Jesus and is Holy Ghost filled, and you love the baby Jesus, and you believe that, you know, the baby Jesus was in the womb of Mary, how do you still support abortion and vote for a preacher who believes that abortion is wrong on Sunday, but will pass laws to make abortion available to everybody? How in the hell do you do it? How are you such a hypocrite? General Cabal. Ask Commander General YAHANNA. We'll be there. Everybody understands that. All right, give me the Jamal Bryant. That's another thing that happened this week. Come on.
So I was going to answer that.
Please.
You can believe that is because all the angels are babies.
Ain't that something? All of the angels are babies, yet you're killing the babies. I got to move on. Okay. Once again, I would love to talk to somebody in the world one day, because there's so much about their lifestyle I just don't understand. And I would love to understand. It's a good thing to go out in the street with that microphone and do those, what brothers do in the school? Interviews. Just to try to get, what in the hell are you doing out there? And how do you rationalize what you do? And you brothers, I'm sure, will find out. All right, what do we have here? Jamal Bryant?
I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really. New Birth is the largest land-owning black. I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really. New Birth is the largest land-owning black church in America. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis?
Cannabis.
I'll be able to bring in black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming. I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, black boy in Bankhead said, they wrong.
Why is that S so gay? See, I gotta talk to you. I don't understand what's happening. Like, why do they talk like that? Jesus, cannabis, Holy Ghost. What in the hell is that? And do they notice it? Anyway, this is Jamal Bryant. You brothers from the DMV, you familiar with this cat? This cat got famous down here in Baltimore's when he was down there in DC leading a giant church. He was leading a giant church down here in the Baltimore area. I forget the name of it, but I'm sure you can find out where it was. And he was super popular until the Freddie Gray incident that happened in Baltimore. And then when the Freddie Gray incident happened, black people were hyper vigilant about whoever was a coon and a sellout. And they stepped on him because he smelled and sounded and looked like a turncoat coon sellout. And he got bounced out of Baltimore. Get Baltimore a hand. You showed up that day. Y'all showed up down there in the DMV. You showed up. Well, he ran straight to Atlanta. You gotta go down there too, Kubal. You said that already, didn't you? Kubal, he read that. He knew it already. You better call General YAHANNA. We need to go. We gotta go straight down Atlanta, then Miami. Straight to Atlanta, Georgia. He ran straight down there, and he became the new reverend over what's that homosexual that died of AIDS? Eddie Long, New Birth. Eddie Long died of AIDS, and he became the new preacher in New Birth Baptist Church. They hired him, and now he's down there now in Atlanta over this church. And he went on a radio show this week, and they asked him about him reaching out to the community and how he's going to try to increase the community. And this was his answer. Play it again.
Weed at the church. I'm looking for people that smell like weeds. No, really. New Birth is the largest land-owning Black church in America. And so my position to my deacons is, why aren't we not raising cannabis? I'll be able to bring in Black males. They're able to do it legally. I'm teaching them farming.
Oh my God.
I'm helping them to enhance the ecosystem. This is the kind of conversation. So if the guy, Black boy in Bankhead said, they growing weed at the church, where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
Who put that song on it?
Yes.
That's funny.
I don't need no.
Go ahead, do it again.
Where do I join?
Yes.
I don't need no pamphlet for him.
Damn. Mashak, how you catch that one? So damn, when they hand out pamphlets, he hand out. When they hand, you want a pamphlet? That nigga, he probably rolls his eyes. That's probably an eye rolling. The eyes rolling. You be like, you gotta roll your eyes like that at me? Damn. I mean, what can I tell you? Put the other picture up on the screen. Well, listen, okay, now, a lot of you hear this and you're shocked by it, but you shouldn't be, because Eddie Long, what's his name? Jamal Bryant wants members. And the best way to get members is to get people to hold on to your church without making them let go of what they do in the past. That's how the Christian church grew. The Christian church went to Ireland and took all of the worshipers of the Celts and the four-leaf clovers and said, come on in here. Keep worshiping leprechauns. Keep worshiping four-leaf clovers and three-leaf clovers. They went over to the Mexico. They went to Mexico and they had Santa Muerta. And now you can keep worshiping what you were worshiping before you became Catholic. The Catholics will worship it as well. They just took everyone's previous religion and added it to the Catholic Church. And instead of having Samhain, they had Halloween or All Hallows Eve, which is just what they were doing before they were ever Catholic. Now they can do it in the Catholic Church. What do you Christians do on Halloween night? What's that thing the Christians have? Where they bring them all into the church? All Saints Day, and they bring them all into the church and give the kids candy. You want members, and you know that you cannot get enough members by forcing them to let go of the past. So you say, as long as you hold on to the church, we'll let you hold on to your sin, your lust, your drug addiction. Are you telling me that the problem with Black people is that we're not getting high enough? Now, damn, now, first of all, raise your hand if your life has been negatively affected by drug addiction. Everyone. That's why we don't have fathers. That's why we don't have mothers. That's why our schools are a wreck. That's drug addiction, brother. I can't think of a worse scourge. Like if I try to think about problems that we have as Black and Hispanics, my God, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the North American Indian, we're ravished by drug addiction. You go to church, they're going to say, bring your weed, smoke your weed, continue to be a drug addict. And this is where you go for God. Ephraim. He brought this dispensary into the church. And of course, did we play the part where he talked about, did he say men's on here? Yeah. This is also, he can get the men's. He can get the men's into his church. The men's. Give me the picture I need right here. Let me show you who else needs to get all the men's and they like the men's. They love the men's. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, the men's. Yeah, somehow they love that purple, don't they? I wonder why. The men's. We need all the men's in here. All of the men's. The Christian church has no integrity because all they care about is pleasing people. It's pleasing them and giving people what they want. They're pop. They're like a pop song. They just give people what they want, and people come because they don't have to give up anything to do it. It's like, a stadium full of people at a soccer game or a football game. They're all there cheering for the team because all of them can do whatever they want as long as they support the team. They can do whatever they want as long as they support the team. It's disgusting, and it has no integrity. Come on.
That's why you have motherfuckers run across the field.
Naked. Butt ass naked at a football game. Oh my God. Everybody understands this. Do I need to give you a few precepts about this? Let me think. There's 1,000 of them. Come on.
If I may, sir. Mm-hmm. Matthew chapter 6.
Let me maintain my integrity till my death. Give me that in the Psalms. Go ahead, up.
No man can serve two masters.
Perfect precept.
For either he will hate the one and love the other.
No man can serve two masters, or else he will hate the one and love the other. You cannot serve God and still continue being a drug addict. You can't do it. And Jamal Bryant knows that. But he doesn't care about that. He cares about getting his hands on all those men's. Getting all of those men's in his grasp. Having those men's all around him. And what in the hell is wrong with that church that they keep hiring a gay preacher? That church, I don't know who would talk to one of them, whoever goes there, that they prefer Jamal Bryant will be dead next to some disease. Come on. I bet he was. Jesus Christ. There you go again. Listen, y'all better watch out for that Nate. Because he liable to catch something that you can't get rid of. Reading on. Go ahead.
Like I said, if I could, before I came to before I even knew about I heard about the purple one.
Okay.
I used to hate, just listen to this dude's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I saw an interview with this dude, and I hadn't heard him for like
damn. Play that, Mashak. How'd I forget? Come on.
Concert, and I heard an interview with this guy, and I was like, something is off because he didn't sound right, or he didn't sound like the way he sounded before.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look like he looked before. He just looked totally off. Looked like he was going the way of Eddie Long.
Before you know it, he'll have some disease that you can't get rid of. Just like Eddie Long and like Jamal Bryant, he don't seem healthy either. I like to be healthy. I care about my health. Reading on. Okay, let's play this video. Then I got to get the hell out of here, all right?
founds his own basically religious organization.
Rewind that. Now, everybody remember this. And so you understand. Nate at one time was in the UPK under commanding General YAHANNA in New York. All right. He was in the school and he's explaining why he left. Everybody understands. Go ahead.
Police detective
You gotta
starts
you ain't
found.
Texture the whole thing. Get him asking the question. Ooh. You got to go ahead. Yeah, get if you can get the one where he explains that he was a police detective and why, and that of course he associated that with the Masons and is wondering why he left and started his own organization, and maybe it had
Police detective
Masons. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
This is Job chapter 27 and 5. God forbid I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me.
Read that one more time.
God forbid that I should justify you.
God forbid that I should justify you. Don't you understand? But by you supporting abortion, supporting homosexuality, supporting the sin in the world, you justify the people that hate us. You prove that black people are only their lust. That's all we are. You know what black people are? Them wanting to kill the baby that they don't want to be responsible for and wanting to get high.
And goes on and on and on and on and on. There was
this is why these churches
strings up
pushing such a
anti Kyrie.
They prove
but
that's
if
right.
the media is a coward
you aren't
and bought and paid for,
you're a black
thank
church
God, and I don't care.
Do you know if Herschel Walker is so embarrassing, you're not embarrassed to be a black church that says, I'm going to get all these men to smoke weed. You're a stinking, disgusting embarrassment to everyone that's black, to everyone that's Hispanic. God forbid I should justify you. Keep going.
Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me.
Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. I will not remove my shield because white people are more comfortable as long as I'm not an Israelite. I will not say things that make you comfortable and squash down who I am. I won't support abortion because all black people love abortion. I won't support marijuana because all black people support
Police
marijuana.
detective.
I won't say that sex is nothing and that a piece of paper is everything because some loudmouth bitch says I have to do it. I'm not doing it. I will maintain my integrity until I'm dead. Now, if you don't believe in that, you're not One West. This is the wrong place for you. Here's the good news. There are a lot of places for you. There's only one place for me. I pray you understand. Next, come on. You got it? Mashak? Play that one. Play that one then.
Founds his own police detective founds his own basically religious organization.
Stop.
Police
detective starts his own religious organization. Mashak, go.
The founding of Israel United in Christ by you, leaving the New York Police Department. Why not join an existing organization? Why did you start your own?
I saw much polygamy. I saw a lot of backbiting.
The cat is asking him, why wouldn't you join the existing organization? Who's the existing organization? One West I.S.U.P.K. out of Harlem, New York. 125th Street, under commanding General YAHANNA. That's the existing one. Always here, always been here. Why didn't you stay in that one? Why'd you start your own being a police detective? Why'd you start your own? And what did he say? What was the reason? Now, he gave the reason. I mean, you don't have to surmise the reason. He's telling you the reason. What's the reason? Please, Mashak.
Did you start your own?
I saw much polygamy. I saw a lot of.
Ooh, I saw much polygamy. What in the hell is
I
that?
saw a lot of back.
Ooh, go ahead.
Polygamy is like it traumatized, like somebody.
It was hurtful.
Offended him.
It offended him. Listen, he said, "I saw." Who in the hell talks like that? Who talks like that? I saw much polygamy. Oh, meaning we were getting too much tail. Too much tail in here, right? And let me tell you something. We still getting that much tail. We're getting a lot of tail in here. Oh, listen. Like this here. You see that? You know we come hard. Like this right here. You hear that sound? That's how it is. Just like that. We don't come soft. We come hard in here. I got a feeling all you fake Israelite groups are angry at us because we like girls. I'm starting to see something, Michelle.
Yeah.
I think you hate us because we like girls in here. Because we come hard. I'm seeing something about you. Well, listen, if you don't come hard and you don't like polygamy, this is the wrong place for you. You should find somewhere else. Here's the good news for you. There are a lot of places that come soft. There's only one place that comes hard. Bragatha Yahweh Yahweh. With that, shout out to General Shalamar, General Kubal, General Katham Mashat, all the officers and the sisters. Pass it over to cross the line. They're getting it on immediately after this class. Shalom. Clap it up. Anybody need me? We off?
Yeah, don't have messed up, no. Bad news, it's a beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zoc, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper Free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them U.P.K. rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. He ain't locked in with the count and when you speaking to me for. Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and out there. Came them with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, so that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Don't have messed up, no. Bad news, it's a beat your home, nigga.